lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic.
Hello, hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? I sure hope you can. Little Devil, how you this morning? It's an early morning here. Early morning. Very, very early. Ooh-wee. People, people are still sleeping or they haven't gone to bed quite just yet. Who knows? Either way. I'm still, even though I'm not working right now, I'm on the night shift. I'm on the sleep very little shift, Sleep very, very little. But, I just wanted to come on and chat because we've been kind of caught up with the whole Perp Diddy situation over there. And I don't know what's going on. I haven't paid no attention. I had my Saturday night and my Sunday and had other things going on and, other people going on, kind of thing. So we were busy and doing other things. And I thought, there's this question. I have this thing on TikTok. I started what would you do if you found out your ex, right? And they're, we'll say hypothetical, right? We'll say they're, meant to just be funny and whatever. And then I thought, how about we tell some stories of what if? What if? Hey, Aussie Amanda. Hey, Little Devil. It's 4:09 there. It's 3 o'clock here. So, but yeah, I know it's late, early, whatever. Hey, AC. Yeah, this isn't drama per se. It's more of I'm just going to tell stories, just a questionable what if. What if, say you were married, right? And then, say that your husband, or if you're a guy, your wife, whatever, um, finally admits that they had an affair, that they actually slept with the person, right? Like, oh, I don't know, something like, yeah, I fucked her, so, like, yeah, just say something like that was said. But then, can you imagine? Oh, it's 6:11 there. Ooh, 6:11 p.m. there, Aussie. Oh my goodness. I know you're all the way over there. And then we need to come over to Australia and go see. We need to go see Aussie over there, y'all. Um, but just imagine something like that were to happen. But then, could you imagine if the story took a really bad turn? Perhaps your phone rings. Somebody you don't know is calling you. And this person on the other end of the line, you're still trying to figure out who they are, how they got your number, who is this person? And then they proceed to tell you how your husband and him had a relationship. What would you do? Would you, oh, I don't know, freak out and address the subject matter with the husband or whoever it is, your partner? We'll just say that it was, maybe a same sex relationship. We'll say that, right? Or would you just calmly say, I want a divorce? And then, because what'll happen, it'll be denied, right? I'm thinking in that kind of situation, and it would be a denial. I know, morning shit show. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. But I'm just thinking, like, would you confront the person knowing they're going to just lie about it anyways and let it go that route, where if you confront them, they're going to lie, it's going to be an issue, and oh my God, and, have a blow up, whatever. Or like I said, would you just calmly tell them, you know what, it's over, I'm done, I want a divorce? I'm thinking, if it was me, and this is all just a story, okay, guys? If you could imagine, because no way anything like this would really happen, right? But just imagine if you just sat back quietly and didn't say anything and just told them you wanted a divorce, you were done. Because how would you go and tell them, think of some of the information that could be passed on, like explanation of how they did things, where they were at, or, oh, they couldn't walk for a couple weeks and they told you and everybody else that it was a back injury. Had to have shots in the back and shit, supposedly, right? But come to find out, that was a lie. What would you do? Get the proof first, go from there. But wouldn't the phone call coming in be proof? What I'm thinking. Or would, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe just back out slowly and just say, you know what, I'm done. Because you got somebody's boyfriend calling you, telling you what they're doing. I personally would be mortified. Would anybody else? I would be. I would be totally like, what the hell? I'd be absolutely mortified. But I think if that were to happen to me, I think that I would just back out slowly and just tell him I want a divorce. I'm done. Because I couldn't imagine anybody that I'd ever been with would be honest about that. I'm just saying, you know, I know that I know my exes would hit the freaking roof if they found out that somebody came forward and telling the truth on them. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That would be mortifying. Any more than that, stand up in court. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know what? The interesting thing about court is, AC, when somebody commits perjury, there's a lawsuit, right? So they can commit perjury all they want in courtroom. Did you know that? Like, say somebody were to go to court. Okay, say somebody were to go to court and accuse the other one of being a drug addict. So much so that in a divorce decree, now this is, hypothetical here, of course, right? That it's saying that you have to have a hair follicle testing done. Now, that actually did happen to me. But in a hypothetical situation, I would say you most certainly committed perjury and you're a lying sack of shit. That's what I would tell them. Yeah. So as a perjury, court, yeah, exactly. You know what, Little Devil? Exactly. Was it the first time? Maybe not. Hypothetically, I'm thinking it wouldn't have been, right? Thinking. In that storyline, I really don't think that it would be a first time. Although, I don't know. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine how a phone call like that would go. If you're telling specifics about things that happened, and could you imagine if the guy sits there and says, he really likes to do blowjobs, kind of situation, and then started to do more. Then it's kind of like, I probably would ask at that point, oh, is he trying to say you were the first? Yeah, there you go. Is he telling you that you were his first? That would be a good one to get him with, I guess. Huh. And I'm thinking that somebody would probably do whatever they could to hide that shit and cover that up, right? Because they wouldn't want truths to come out in court. Because, that's obvious if you were going to divorce. Or would you just stay with somebody like that? Would you stay with somebody who keeps those kind of secrets? Curious. That would be horrifying to me, I think. It would be, oh my goodness. Ooh, wee. I know what I've seen people do to hide shit and to lie. Oh my goodness, y'all. I've seen the lies that have come out. Unbelievable. Unstinking believable, some of the shit. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wow. Huh. And hey, look, I'm not hating on anybody if you're, in a same sex relationship. That's cool, man. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I'm in this scenario, it would be you're lying about who you are. Be truthful about who you are, and if you are a in the closet about it, or whatever, if you're bisexual, whatever it is, do you, man. But in this situation, in this this story here, it's a it would be a thing of you're keeping the secret and denying and lying about it and not letting your spouse know that that's who you are. So you're not, then therefore you're not giving the spouse an opportunity to say whether they're okay with it or not. For me, I definitely wouldn't be okay with it. That's just me. And that's, what, hey, I'm not knocking anybody else's, preferences or anything. But for me, I don't want to be with a man who's with another man. That's a huge no-no. It's not for me. Hey, past. Oh, am I having trouble sleeping? No, I'm still on that night shift, man. No, not working right now. I'm still stuck on the night shift situation. Um, it is what it is. Night shift is it. I'm too old to keep going back and forth. I used to be able to flip flop between day and night. I could work 1 week day, 1 week night, back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, I can't do that so easily anymore. I'm still stuck on the night shift. Yeah, see, little W, you wouldn't want to be either, right? And then imagine if you did have that kind of information and you were quiet about it for a long time. I'm just thinking of all kinds of, different scenarios there of what ifs. What if you found out? Yeah, you get it past. You're on the night shift too. I know the night shift is really. Mm-mm-mm. And then I think, in a situation like that, in this story, like you're having to rethink your whole relationship. If you were married, if you were just in a committed relationship, whatever, right? You would have to, we'll say marriage. We'll say marriage. Maybe it was a long marriage, because my marriage lasted 27 years and so many months, right? So, you could have been married a short time, a long time. I don't know. I'm just thinking if I ever got a call like that, how mortifying that would be to have to stop and rethink your whole marriage, your whole everything. Because to me, I'm looking at that situation going, that person is not anything what they portrayed to be. They totally lied. How do you keep those kind of secrets? No, it's a normal time. This is normal. I know these are normal kind of times right here. You know, uh, I'm normally up at this hour, and I'm still normally up at this hour. I'll sleep a few hours and get up and do it all over again. Do my whole day all over again. All the different things, all the things. But I do stop and wonder. I absolutely do wonder about things like that. If things like that were to happen. So, me doing the what would you do if you found out your ex, you know, um, which I think I did post one this week. I hope I did. If not, I'll have to do, a double banger and do two of them, I guess. Because I know I have, today's Monday. I usually post them on Tuesday, I think. So, what should the next one say? What would you do if you found out your ex? And explain it, right? So every week I have to come up with at least one. And there's some doozies you can think of, right? Because anybody who's been through some shit, usually you're able to come up with a thing or two. Especially if it's absolutely hilarious, because I know I put one up there and my ex, oh my God, he flipped out. And I was like, it doesn't even have anything to do with you. What the heck, But just at the mere thought that it may have any kind of reflection on him was too much for him to handle. So whatever. Again, why he's following me around on any of the sites, I don't know, but I blocked him over there. So, it is funny though, because you can block people from things and yet they go so far out of their way. It's crazy. I don't know, but either way, I just think it's funny to think about the what if you found out. What if you had total truth bombs dropped? And what if you dropped those truth bombs? And what if people freaked the heck out because you were telling the truth? I don't like that. Not at all. Especially, I know it's not very well liked that I say anything that's happened to me, speaking the truth. And for me, I've been silenced for 27 years. I'm not going to be silenced anymore. So if you want to consider it bashing, I don't care. 27 years I spent covering up for somebody else. I'm not doing it anymore. Not at all. So, if I want to have my fun at, what would you do if? I'm going to have fun with it, guys. I don't have to sit here and sit down and be quiet for somebody else. You know how you told sit down, sit all the way down. Which again, if you're going to tell somebody to sit down, that would imply that they're sitting all the way down, because who the hell sits halfway down? Come on. Well, I guess if you had an injury in your backside, you know what I'm saying, then you may not be able to sit all the way down properly for a while. So maybe those are the kind of people that are not sitting down all the way. That's oh, cheating with 2 strippers while you're pregnant. Ooh, girl. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I feel for you, little devil. I do. I feel for you on that one. Absolutely do. Absolutely. You know what? Wait, did I? No, that was I don't think that was a post I did. What would you do? Never mind. I don't think it was a what would you do post. Maybe it was. Trying to remember if it was just a post I put up or if it was a what would you do if you found out I think it was. I think it was. What would you do if you found out your libido wasn't actually dead or gone or whatever, however I phrased it. You just had to have come back alive, meeting the right person. You know what I mean? Because that's a funny one. I'm sorry. That's funny. You find out all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. You are still alive. Oh, one of them was pregnant too? Oh my gosh. Little devil, I'm sorry. It wasn't pregnant by him, was it? Oh, Lord. I'll tell you what, you know what? And not all men are like that. Just some. But he was the N-word too, wasn't he? Narcissist. Gotta be careful when we say that N-word. Somebody might think we're saying something else, implying something else. But over here, if we say that, it's saying narcissist. That's what that is. Yeah, little devil, I know. I feel for you on that one. I feel for you on that one. Or like, if your kid is in the hospital having open heart, having heart surgery, and you find out they couldn't talk to you because they were talking to their mistress. Yeah, that's a good one too. A real good one. That I'm not going to hide. I'm not covering up for that shit anymore. Because, you know what? It's not my humiliation to carry. It's not my humiliation to bear. Because, you know what? Each one of us is enough for someone. And the person who can't be loyal and faithful and has to have their little side piece or whatever all the time, doing whatever the fuck they want to do, they're the ones with the problem. Absolutely. Uh, they're the ones not worthy of loyalty and faithfulness. So I just say, same due date. Oh no, little devil, I'm so sorry. It was his. Oh my god, little devil. Oh my gosh. Whoo, wait. You're not still with him, are you? Do you just say X, right? Uh, I hope you're not with him still. I really do. I hope you're not. Um, but I mean, if you are and you made it work, great. Everybody does their own thing. No, I try so hard not to pass judgment on that kind of stuff. Because I know where I sat for a long time. So there's that. You know, I can't say nothing about it. It's always funny how we always see for everybody else, right? We always see for everybody else, but for some reason, when it comes to your own situation, you don't always see it the same way. No way. Good, good, good. Whew. Okay, thank goodness. I'm glad you are away from them. And life is so much better, isn't it? Isn't life better now? On the other side, they say when you get on the other side, right now it's rough, but you know what? Oh, you are going to look back and you're going to go, shoo, and I'm fresh out. I'm fresh out. Okay. So I'm getting there. I'm a lot better than where I was when I first, was going through it, right? Because there was quite a few months there. It was really bad as far as anxiety. Oh my goodness. I don't know if there was enough Xanax in the world to keep my anxiety at bay at that point. Oh, Aussie. Oh no. Yeah, and to see other people go through that. But you know what, Aussie, I am glad that you are standing. Sounds like you're standing on the side that's right and not um, defending. Because I've had that happen where it's totally defended, totally defend. Well, it was just this, just that. They would never. He would never. Really? Because he absolutely stood there and said, yeah, I fucked her so. He absolutely did. And absolutely had witnesses to him saying that. So there you go. Ooh, you found Mr. Right 7 years later. Good. All right, little devil. That's awesome. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it is hard. Yeah, those men, yeah. All good men, all men, they give all men a bad name. Yeah. But I try really hard to not go down that route. I really do. I try really hard not to. Ooh, huh? See, Aussie? There you go. And that's, I mean, if you see it, you see him doing that kind of stuff. It's not okay. And I don't think anybody should be making any kind of excuses. Oh, it's no big deal. You find the P word, right? The corn stuff. Oh, it's no big deal. Everybody does it. Not everybody does it. I don't do it. I don't go on Instagram and, you know, they have those things that you pay as you play kind of things, you can get busted out on those too. Just saying. And it's okay. If you've got some kind of sexual issue, go get help. Go get it fixed. If you can, it's okay, but don't drag somebody else through it. And if you're seeing that in your own relationship, know your worth and your value and stand up and say, no, I'm not doing this. Because, like I've said before, the moment you have to look at someone and say, could you put me first? When I tell you I did that in my marriage for fucking years, excuse the language, years, I did that. Nah, we shouldn't be doing that, guys. Will I ever do that again? Nope. I learned some lessons, y'all. I learned some lessons on that one. Oh, took a year to find out. Oh my goodness, really? Oh, well, devil, I'm sorry. See, that's just messed up, isn't it? That's really that's some bullshit right there. And they'll do all that crazy shit, but what they'll do is like, for real, you get you get upset because you find out there's a situation that occurred, right? That there's another female, and then you may find out that there's somebody of the same sex in there too. Who knows? But because you're upset and you're irritated with that, and there's a reaction, right? So your reaction, and they do this in any kind of scenario. They point out and they want to tell everybody how crazy you are. Those are huge red flags, right? Oh, they're crazy. They're delusional. I was called delusional. And then I got it all clipped. They said how delusional, and I shit you not. Motherfucker come and says, I've never called you delusional. It's like, you just fucking did. Like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes prior. I've never done that. What the hell? You sure did. And then, boom, look, could listen to it. Because, like I said, it got to a point where I was having to record every single, anytime there was anybody around, I was having to record. Because there was so much shit going on. It wasn't even funny. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, you hightail it, you're out. You tell them you want a divorce. And oh my gosh, you should see the meltdown. Why would somebody want to stay married to somebody who's not loyal and faithful, cannot put their wife first? I'm sorry. When you are with someone, you should put your partner first. Right? And see, by me talking about anything, which to me, you got to talk about it. You got to heal up, right? You got to get over it. You got to vent, do whatever. And so, I do. And I mean, look at the situation, Little Devil. Come on, Aussie. These are hard situations. This is real life. This is shit that really happens to people. And I know people get divorced all the time, right? Y'all, when I tell you how crazy people get when you get divorced, I tell you how crazy they get. When I tell you the truth here, truth of the matter is 27 fucking years I wasted in my life. Wasted. When I tell you I have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. So, but I have me. So that's a good thing. But technically I'm supposed to have my personal property, but he can't have that either. He can't do that. Even the shit I bought after we were separated, which absolutely, it'll end up going to lawsuit, is what it'll end up doing. Have to sue the piss out of him for it, which is fine. And there's a lot of other things too. Perjury that's committed. Yeah. there's just a lot there, and that's okay. But honestly, for me, just knowing that I am free of that piece of shit, and I will end up with somebody one day. Right now I do not want any kind of serious relationship. Go out, have a good time, have fun, kick back, relax, do whatever, enjoy somebody's company, whatever, just enjoy hanging out with friends, do all of it, right? But one day I do deserve to have somebody who's loyal and faithful and puts me first and doesn't have to run off to other states constantly to go see their mistress. My ex sure could not do that. And I tell you, it was years. Yeah, oh, the whole fucking marriage, guys. This bitch was at our wedding. I said it. The bitch was at our wedding because they were quote unquote friends. But he had to just run up to Michigan all the time to go see her. That's why I won't go to Michigan. Sorry, Dree. I'm not coming up there to see you, honey. I won't step foot in Michigan. Michigan, kiss my ass. Yes, that's true, Charlie Girl. You can't, man. Charlie Girl knows. She heard and saw a lot. When you're on phone calls all the time and you have video on Messenger. Um, yeah. So it's much more peaceful now, isn't it? Where I can actually sit down and calmly talk about this. Yeah, sure can. And I do know that in just a few short years, there'll be all kinds of truth bombs being able to be dropped, huh? And y'all know what I'm talking about. No comparison, all right, Charlie Girl. I was a pretty bad mess. Holy Lord have mercy. When I tell you anxiety is not even part of it. Not even, I can't even, it's not even anxiety. It's something worse than that. What is it? I don't know. Oh, Jenna, I know you fell asleep. It's okay. I haven't fallen asleep yet, but I do find it interesting. And part of me does want to go and just drag, because I'm telling you, there's some shit that could be told. But I'll just do the what ifs. And I'll do hey, let's do the story time. What if this happened? What if that happened, right? Yeah. Because you could really just go out there and drag somebody through the mud. So when I say I don't have 2 fucks left to give, I ain't got 2 fucks left to give. I don't give a shit if somebody's pissed off because I'm going to sit here and tell what happened. The things and the events that happened in my life. When I tell you my mom begged me to leave him, she could not stand him. And he knew it. That's why he was like, oh, I hate your mom. I cannot stand her. Blah, 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 blah. Which he didn't like the girls either. The girls, the quote unquote ladies, that was a thing. Very, very, I can't even, when we were on call and stuff, he's like, oh, I want to be added to the group. Like, no, this is my group. You have your friends. I don't ask to be part of that. Because I do think that it is important to have friends. You can have, your friends and they have their friends. And my friends don't entail sexual activities, though. So there's that. And I'm not saying that we don't individually have our activities, but we just don't do that with each other. My friends are just friends. I don't have the need to do that. Because when I'm with one person, I'm just with that one person. I don't even date multiple people at one time. I've never been able to do that. But maybe I should try it. I don't know. I've just never been able to do that. But hell, I'm 52. I could try it now. date multiple people at once. I don't know. See, that's scary. That's scary to me. But it was not like that. I had to ring of friends. It wasn't like that. My mom and I were close. I couldn't stand it. Hated it. Even when my sisters would visit, he would have an issue with that. Little digs like, "Oh yeah, well, you're just a different person when they're around." I'm not a different person when somebody's around. This is me. Right, Charlie girl? Yeah, I know. I know. And you know what's sad though is that people will not. They're nice to your spouse, even though they may see things and know things that they know maybe you're just not going to hear it anyways, right? You would defend them and stand up for them, and until you're no longer together. When I tell you there's been some things that have been said to me that I've just like jaw dropping, I'm like, what? Um, there was, what is it saying that to activate chat, please enable channel here. I have chat enabled. So what is it doing? Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. It's saying that, but okay. Hopefully chat is able to go still. Or haven't done anything or touched anything. But yeah, Jenna's not feeling too good. Not feeling too good at all. But I have heard things from people that shocked me, their viewpoint of how he is. You know, what they saw, what they didn't like, and what, you know, how things made them feel uncomfortable, which I was kind of floored by. Yeah, we were nice at first. Yeah, we're still nice. You know, we're still nice. Even at the end, you're still considerate and nice to a degree where some people wouldn't be so nice. But you know, the other thing that they like to do too is they don't like it when you have any kind of life away from them. Like okay, just a perfect example. That trip to Tennessee. We all, you know, when we met in Tennessee, he sat there and said he was going to pay for it. Made this big production a year before because we planned that thing for a year because everybody's limited income. You know, you're having to save and make sure that, you know, you're doing what you got to do for, you know, a trip like that. And he was going to pay for the Airbnb. And then just a couple weeks before, he was supposed to go as well. Now, he had made a couple comments. One of the comments, you know, was, well, if I go, are we going to be able to spend just time, you and me? I don't want to be around everybody else. Just you and me. You and me go get away and do things. I was like, well, yeah, but you and I can go do things all the time. You know, I'm going to see these people. You know, my sister's going to be there. We're, you know, like we want to hang out because we're actually face to face with each other. You know, and that really irritated him. So about 2 weeks prior, he says that he's not going to go. He had to go to work. Oh, okay. Then, you know, about a week before, he says he can't afford to pay for pay the rest of the Airbnb off. Left me scrambling. I was like, oh shit, you know. I said, okay. I didn't say anything to any of the ladies. Not at all. We got it worked out. Did what we had to do. And allowed him to be thanked for the trip and this, that, and the other. Then he threw a huge fit and said I shouldn't go because he wasn't going. It's like, what? What? And I said, you're choosing not to go. Um, and I even asked him because he was on the road at the time. And I was like, well, maybe, can you get a couple jobs and then swing by just for, a day or two, it'd be really nice. And no, can't do that. Can't do that. Bet your bottom dollar if it was girlfriend Tammy up in Michigan, he'd do it. He'd bend over backwards. Or if it was, somebody else, whoever, right? Because that's the thing. He could always manage to get things done for everybody else. Always. So I said, remember when he wanted me to text him something? Yes. I said, no, I'll send it to your wife and she can send it to you. I said, I will not be texting any of my sister's spouses. No, thank you. Yes. But that's just the trying to get in there, to be in the end for some reason. I don't know what that deal is all about, it's just wants to feel like he's important or something. I don't know. Interesting. And so I allowed that whole time. I allowed the ladies to tell him thank you, and he sucked it up like, oh yeah, yeah. But to sit there and say I shouldn't go because he didn't want to go. Now, mind you, guys, there was 2 weddings that were occurring that I was officiating. This wasn't just you're going for the weekend, just go visit. We had 2 weddings planned. We had CJ, who was flying into Dallas from Scotland, already bought and paid for her ticket, and she was staying with me, and then we were leaving from the house to drive up to Tennessee. And there was just so much that was on the plate with this trip. It wasn't just, one or two, whatever. It was a major thing to me and to everybody else. It was big, important things happening. And so you think that I should just not go because you decide you don't want to go. And knowing I'm officiating 2 weddings, I mean, there's people that were counting on this. CJ was most definitely counting on me being at the airport to get her and drive to Tennessee. But that's, just that situation right there. There's a lot of red flags with that. Because he made up every reason why he couldn't. Oh, we just can't afford it. And I'm like, what? This was something that was planned for a year. No, it wasn't that you couldn't afford it. Wasn't it we couldn't afford it at all. It was he just did not want me to go hang out with anybody else. Just as I can't tell you how many times every freaking job he had an issue with. Every time. I hate that job. I hate it. Why do you hate my job? You're not working it. I'm working the job. But there was always oodles and oodles of reasons of why he hated it so much. Traveling job, you know what? I gave him some grace on that one. I understood I could kind of see that, even though I stood by his side when he was in the Navy and gone all the time. I held down the fort and was able to work and do what needed to get done. And yeah, I worked. Sure did. Took care of the kids and everything. And remained faithful and loyal to his ass, which he did not deserve. I don't even want to know how many times he cheated when he was deployed. That's a kind of scary thought, too. You think they're loyal and faithful, and then you find out they're not. Even though you always had to, you question things, And when they say when they're caught sneaking around behind your back on shit, right? You know what they say? Red flag guys. Well, you can't trust me? If you can't trust me, why are we even together? Oh, if you don't want to be with me, blah, blah, blah. I mean, these are all huge red flags. Now that, I've had time away and I can sit back and I'm like I said, I've had to study up on shit. Narcissism is one. Absolutely. And I have to say, me being able to come on lives and speak freely, I can say whatever I want to say. Guys, that motherfucker doesn't have control over me like that anymore. Because I definitely would, for some reason, think that his humiliation of his actions and behaviors was mine to bear, and it was not. That's not my humiliation that you have to continue to go all the way up to Michigan to go see your mistress up there. And here's the kicker with that. He legit sat there and thought he should tell me how she cheated with a whole bunch of guys. Right? He told me that. I told y'all, I think. I don't know, maybe I didn't. Well, he told me that, and he was, he even told me how he was talking to her, and she's like, well, what are you going to do? What's she going to do to me? Come, cut my heart out? And I was like, what the hell are you doing talking to her about me? That's a huge no-no, huge red flag, guys. That doesn't scream, yeah, I'm fucking her. Nothing else does. Look into it. You guys feel free to look into it, start research it all you want. It's out there. Definitely red flags. Now, you know what I did do, y'all? And I don't know if I told this story or not already, but this is not just, this is actually true. He, very recently, I say recently, but it was recent, like prior to the divorce. I guess it's been about a year and a half, about a year and a half or so. She came up yet again and said, yeah, she got divorced. Somebody called her husband and told her she was cheating. I said, yeah, that was me. Woo, boy, when I tell you I blew him away with that one, he was shocked. Like, how the hell? And I'm like, I called him at work and told him. He deserved to know. Sound like a nice guy. I guarantee you he was. He didn't deserve what she did to him. Did not deserve it. Oh, I don't know. No, I don't. No, Mrs. T, the whole mistress thing, girl, I was almost this size when we got married. I was a little bit larger, had a little bit more weight on me, but I was still pretty thin. And I gained weight with the pregnancies, big time weight, which, he did say to me, well, I had said to him, because he had said something about the weight I had gained with the pregnancy. And he was like, oh, what if I was this size when you met me? You wouldn't have dated me? He's like, no, I wouldn't. Guys, that's another red flag, by the way. Found out. Big red flag. Get out. Okay? Because it's exactly what they say, what the N-word, the narcissist. They look for somebody who's empathetic, who's compassionate, who's trying to take care of people, makes them look good. Apparently, the weight I gained just didn't make him look too good, did it? Let me tell you what. You know what is interesting, though? Speaking of the weight loss. Hey, NJ Robin. How are you this morning, hon? What's interesting about that whole weight loss situation, I finally was able to lose weight. When I tell you I've lost about 100 or 450 pounds, I've lost about 140 pounds, guys, all together, all in. Now I got to put a little bit back on because the divorce thing really kind of wrecked my nerves, and I lost a little bit more than I was probably intending to. But roles are a little reversed. And see, I'm just not that cruel of a person, but I do think, oh, maybe what you didn't ask me if you were that size when we met, if I would have dated you. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, uh, I don't, to me, it doesn't matter what somebody's weight is. You love the person. But, I know I've lost weight. I'm not pushing 300 pounds. You know what I mean? Just saying. Just saying. But those are like red flags you should be looking out for. Stand up and look, oh, that's probably a bad situation there. You're going to have to reconsider, and I think back about all these things now that I'm seeing. Like, that's a red flag. These are things good to know now going forward, because, even if you're thinking, hey, this isn't right, then they tell you things like you're jealous, you're immature, grow up. I'm sorry, there's nothing about being immature and needing to grow up when somebody is having an affair. That is not an immature situation. Who the hell? Hey, Austin, what you mean? Yeah, 110 pounds. Yeah, that's I'm not 110. I was 112. I think I'm up to 118 now. So, which, I'm almost 5'8". So just got to gain a little bit more. It's okay. I'm still healthy. I'm still good. But I could gain a little bit more in the boob section. Would be nice. Just saying. I could get some of those back without gaining too much anywhere else. Would be fantastic. Y'all hear the cats? They're going crazy. So what they do every night. But it is nice to be able to. Well, I shouldn't say it's nice, because I really don't like to see them. But the red flags, the things that if I ever get in another relationship, got to watch out for. They're definitely, don't let it go anymore. You're 4'11". Yeah, you're definitely. Yeah, that's a lot shorter. That's what my aunt was about that. Well, I don't even know if she was 4'11", actually. She was a short little thing. But I do make the joke of, I lost 450 pounds. 440 pounds. And we always say 300 in one day. When that divorce was issued, lost that 300 pounds, bye-bye, gone. Lost some major headaches too, But it is what it is. And, at this point, I just, I'm learning how to recognize all those red flags and to actually acknowledge those red flags, because that's the hard part too, is to sit back and to have to admit that I accept any of that for myself. That's an owie. That's an oucher. I accepted somebody cheating, somebody lying, going behind your back and doing shit like that I accepted that for myself. Why? Absolutely not, y'all. I deserved way better than that. Way better than that. I can tell you I won't. I'm not gonna put up with that crap anymore. For me, when I'm with somebody, they're my one and only. I don't need to, have any kind of relationship with anybody else, is intimate, whatever. It's just not me. I don't even date multiple. Like I said, dating multiple people at once. I don't even do that. Because honestly, I feel like if I'm with that person and trying to get to know them, how am I going to get to know them if you're? Let me rephrase that. If you're in it for the long haul, like if you think that or if you're looking for a long-term relationship, right? Then for me, I can't be with that person and then dating other people and learning, getting to know one person, right? So that's just, how I look at that. And I just know that whoever I end up with, I will make damn sure that their viewpoint is the same of that as well. Because I do deserve to be with somebody who's loyal and faithful as I am to them. And you can accept somebody for their flaws, but when it comes to that, no, that's not something I should have ever overlooked and said, don't do it. It just, believing that you're the immature, crazy one, that you need to just grow up and not be jealous. Well, I'm sorry, when you're out fucking other whores, you probably are going to have a little, what the hell do you think is going to happen? That's not immature. That's not jealousy. That's saying you're fucked up. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a whole other person. That's right, MJ Robin. RuPaul says, gotta love yourself, or how can you love anybody else? Yep. And that's very true. And if you don't love yourself, you're not gonna love anybody else. And then you're going to end up accepting someone who doesn't love you because they're not capable of it. They're not, in my opinion on that, in my viewpoint, and the research and studying that I've had to do and looking into stuff, stuff I've had to read up on, it gives you the insight of, their capabilities and what they are not capable of and the lack of. Yeah, little devil. I'm sure. It's, at some point. I'm just not in any kind of super big rush. And, I was thinking I'll never get remarried again. Hell, yeah, I'm not going to say that because I don't know what the future holds. I'm not a fortune teller. I do not know what the future holds. Except for that I'm promising myself it will be peace, happiness, joy, and just enjoying life. And to not have to sit there and constantly be shushed by somebody. Don't say that. Don't say this. Y'all, I am stubborn, outspoken, but I'm not near as outspoken as some people are. There are definitely times I have learned to just keep my mouth shut on certain things and to just walk away. But when for years, when somebody's always trying to get you to, don't say that, don't say this, don't do this, don't do that. What the hell am I doing that is so daggone bad? It's all part of the control. It's all part of the control. Oh, you're 60. Yeah, I watch a 600-pound life too. I know. I watched that. My goodness. 600. Because some of those people are really concerning. Some of them, oh my goodness. Whew. Can learn a lot from them. Yeah, and J. Robin, I do believe so. I probably should not have got married when I did. And what they do is they'll also love bomb. They just love bomb you. and they tell you how wonderful they are and how lucky you are to have them. I'm a good person, blah, blah, blah. I mean, going on and on and on. Now I ask you, how the hell is somebody a good person when they're sneaking around behind your back doing that shit with some other female? I'm just curious. Is that a good person? I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, I had been out of my first marriage for a while. He was very abusive. And, I used to think that, the last husband there wasn't abusive because my first husband was very physically abusive. He did other shit, and this one, that's the kicker, man. The kicker, it's a kick in the teeth because you think you got it down. And you think, because they don't land that punch. They don't, whatever. But I tell you what, you get hit with the door so many times. Yeah. Escalates. It eventually gets there. Oh my goodness. But there's so many other things. There's so many other things that are abusive. And to recognize that and to have to actually acknowledge that is a kick in the teeth. It really is. Because it's not a thing that I like to admit that I actually just didn't realize it, just denied it for so long. And there's another part of it. I think that there's so many aspects to it. Financial abuse. And that's they don't want to do it. They don't want to deal with that, right? When they go and hide accounts, they take you off as punishment because you're not doing what they want you to do. So they'll, I'm going to hide this. You don't have any say. You don't have any blah, 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 whatever, right? This really actually happened. And it was all because of my job. Oh my God, guys, it was unbelievable. And I never touched the money that went into the account. But I'll tell you who would touch the money that from the paycheck that I had that would go into an account. We would just go take it out and not say a word. I was like, excuse me, hold on. Multiple times that happened. Multiple times. I'm not going to lie about that shit anymore. And what they do is they'll say that you're doing things and accuse you of doing exactly what they're doing. And definitely he went and was telling people how just financially, I'm no good with money. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm no good with money. For one, if you don't have money, there's no way you're going to be good with it. But if you have money and you're giving it to somebody else or somebody else is taking the money, make that make sense. It doesn't. But the financial abuse is when you go and you hide financials. And for so long, he would just tell me he needed money and I would give it to him without seeing any of the bills. Does anybody ever just have the electric company call them and say, oh, we need this, X amount of dollars, and you send it to them without seeing the bill? No, you don't. But the financial, it absolutely is a thing, which I didn't realize, but it absolutely is. But there's a lot of things with the hiding of money. There's a lot of reasons why it's done. The main reason is control. They want to have control over everything. And then they, don't like your job and they think you should quit your job so they can what? Have control over you. And it's just absolutely absurd. And it's what in the world? But that financial abuse thing, y'all, it's really bad. Yeah, it is bullshit is what it is, past. You're right. Unbelievable. Some of that shit. I don't know, but there's a lot of red flags when the money goes hiding and there's major purchases that are done. There's all kinds of things that are said and done without consenting your spouse. Huh. Well, don't got to worry about it no more because you ain't got this bitch as a wife. there you go, So it's like good, hopefully, I mean, you've been free all these years. You've lived the life of a single person all these years. Now you really truly are single. Congratulations. What else, what else you gonna do, right? So for me, I just sit back and I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy this. I have so much freedom now and peace that it's, you know how it is when you don't feel like you're breathing, when all of a sudden you are. It's like you come up out of the water, you're near drowned, and all of a sudden you come up out of that water and you take that first breath and it's heaven, right? That's how it is. For me, that's how it is. Hey, Daphne. But the financial abuse is really, I mean, that's a serious thing too. And I think that is definitely something that goes overlooked a lot of times because it is a thing where people do things so differently. But I know when that happened. That happened because I had not said to him, I'm not sure what I was supposed to say, but on his mother's anniversary of her death, first anniversary of her death, I didn't say anything to him about it. I didn't, and I don't know what are you supposed to say? Oh, congratulations! It's been a year. I mean, what do you? I don't know, but I didn't say anything to him because he was very much like didn't give a shit that his mom died. He's like, oh, I knew she was dying. I went and saw her. It's good. It's fine. So it was kind of like a taboo subject matter in the, with him. You don't talk about it because I'm fine, da 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 da, whatever. Well, because I didn't say anything, and I really think it was just a thing to make an issue of. Well, she had died. Was it 2 days before my birthday? So the 1 year mark came and I didn't say anything because, like I said, he never wanted to talk about it. He wasn't bothered by it, never shed one tear. Never saw him shed one tear when his mom died. And, try to be understanding of it, whatever. So his payment towards me for that was that on my birthday, and I was working in Louisiana, didn't even send me a text. It really got me, guys. That really hurt my feelings. And I was like, are you serious? Like, what in the world? And I was like, what did I do to deserve that? Like, what in the world? I was lost. I think emotional abuse is harder. It is slower and plays on your mind control. Yes, and Jay Robin. Yes, absolutely. And so, I went at work, and I was really upset. And when I messaged him and he's like, I waited till after midnight. And I think it was the next day. I was like, oh, you couldn't even say happy birthday, and he's like, you should think how you treat people. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell? So I worked the rest of that week. No clue what was going on. Silent treatment. He's pissed off. The following week, I went to work yet again. He decides at that point he's cutting me off of all the accounts. And I say cut off because I didn't touch any of the money in there or anything, but he took me off so I couldn't see him, whatever, privated everything, all while he still had access to the account that my paychecks were going into. And even so much so that my oldest son, which he's my oldest son, he is now his ex-stepson, okay, came into town. And he told him not to call me because I was out of town and I wouldn't be able to see him. I would have driven to see my boy. But that was another thing to be hurtful and cruel. And so anyhow, because he did all that with the accounts, I contacted someone and asked, what should I do? And they said, you need to get your own account and have your check going into there. And that's what I did. And that whole thing was all because I didn't say something about his mom's anniversary of her death. Well, if you had actually given two shits about your mom passing, then I guess maybe I would have. But it was, like I said, it was such a taboo subject matter. Although, when his mama passed, I made damn sure that, we had a hotel room, saved up money for that. Because it was right there at the beginning of COVID when all that, when that happened. So we had to wait several months before, because she passed away in March, and it was I don't remember, June or July, when we had the service, and we all had to go up to Michigan. And we did. We all go traipsing off up there. Paid for the hotel room. That wasn't good enough. We had issues with that too. I'm not sure why. But either way, when my mama passed, it was a totally different story. It was, again, it had to be about him. It was, well, can't you put it off? Didn't want to do a memorial for her because, wait until everybody can be there. No, we're going to do this because everybody needs to have that closure, And again, if it was anybody else, something he wanted to do, he would have bent over backwards to make sure it got done right. And I'll tell you this, when my mom's anniversary came around to her death, I never got anything. Nobody said a word about it. As a matter of fact, the anniversary of my brother's death, nothing was ever said about that. Nothing was ever said about my older brother, his anniversaries. Every time his anniversary comes around, nothing's ever said. So where would I, really, where would I even get the idea that a death anniversary would be something to even say anything about when I had several losses in my life and nothing was ever mentioned about it? My brother passing, my father passing, my grandmother. I mean, there was never, oh, it's the 1 year anniversary today, I'm so sorry, or oh, I'll give you an extra hug, whatever, right? But yet, yeah, Daphne, I kind of wonder about that, but you know what? There's only so long that you can sit and say that. 27 years of cheating had nothing to do with, well, it could have had everything to do with his mother, actually. When you don't have a good example of a relationship not cheating, if you have a mother or a father who is not loyal and faithful, and that's what your example is, then that's what's okay. And I think that's a situation that we had with that. Because there's a lot of things with that, He is just like his father. He got very mad when I said the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Boy, when I tell you that triggered him, ooh, doggy, it triggered him bad. He was so mad about that. And I'm like, well, hello? You didn't even fall off the tree. You're still stuck. That's how bad it is. You stuck. You done the same thing your dad did. You did too. Took my kids to his mistress's house. More than one occasion. Isn't that nice? So yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here. That's not my humiliation to bear, man. I'm not the one who did that shit. I'm not the one who did it. And I tell you what, I sit and I think, oh, I could, and I think you can hate on men, right? I could be a man hater big time. Oh, men, they suck. Da, 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 da. No, I don't hate on all men because I do think there's some good ones out there, you know. I have a good friend of mine who's been very supportive through all of this and is a really good guy. So I'm not going to hate on all men. My hate and anger and frustration is directed towards one. Just one. And I just tell myself that to remind myself, it's not all men that do that. You know, there's a lot of them out there who are like that. But there's a lot of women who are like that too. But I'm okay because I know I'm not that guy, and I'm not. I can't do it, and I will not. You know, I have the moments where I think, yeah, screw it, you know. Um, but I could never treat somebody that way. I couldn't do it. I've always said that's one of the most hurtful things to do. I think one of the most hateful. Yeah, past is one of our good guys. Look, but yeah, it's definitely a learning experience, to say the least, and still learning. I'm still working on it. I work on it. It'll probably take a while because it's definitely have that anger and frustration and just you know, um, and learning to be okay with exactly for what it is, for exactly who he is and what he is and who I am and what I am, and I'm okay with that because I know I'm a loyal and faithful person. That's all I'm going to say. I know I am. And I'm good with that. I'm not going to change who I am. I can't allow that to change me and to change how I am and how I see things and how I feel about things. And I just said, no, I'm not going to get bitter in that aspect. And you'll be like, oh, every man will pay, that kind of scenario thing, you know. I can't do that. I refuse. I will stay true to me and probably more true to myself than I have been in a very long time, very long time. And it's really discovering, you know, like I said, my therapist asked me, you know, did you know who you were when you got married? And I was like, well, yeah, I had to stop. I don't know. I don't know. So it's really just discovering, you know, exactly who I am. I know my view on certain things and my stance on things and stuff, you know. But it's just basically, you know, I'm starting a whole new life and the world is my oyster, guys. It really is. So I get to go and do me, which is really odd and kind of scary. Anybody ever feel that way? That's really scary. Um, to be able to do that. Yeah, Daphne, that's true. Yeah, it takes a long time, and you get out of it, and you see things, and you're like, whoa. And I see a lot of things. Um, like I said, just having to admit a lot of the stuff is like, ooh, ouch, ouchie, ouchie. But it's scary, you know, in a way. It's kind of and I shouldn't say scary, but to actually just be you and to do you and have that freedom. When I say freedom a lot, but it really is freedom. Oh, they did NJ Robin. They absolutely did. They put all the kids in the middle of it. And, you know, he does the exact same thing. Oh, we won't go into that because I don't want to talk about the kids. But yeah, yeah. You learn that from your parents, right? See, my parents look, my parents got divorced. My mom and dad were married 25 years and they got divorced. And once I became an adult, my mom and I talked about things a lot more. But the way they handled things, I mean, we're not perfect as humans, right? We're just not perfect. We don't handle everything 100% with grace and dignity and all that, right? You're going to have hiccups or whatever. You may do something or say something, I probably shouldn't have said or done that, you know. But for the most part, when my parents got divorced, it was, yeah, there was hurt feelings and you know, just the things that do come with divorce. But there was certain things my parents, neither one of them would tolerate disrespect from my brother or I, either one at all. My mom wouldn't tolerate it for my dad, and my dad didn't tolerate it for my mom. The rules were still the same. Okay. When they got divorced, it was a divorce between the two of them. It didn't have anything to do with us children. We were still expected to do what we always did, which was our job was to go to school, to, you know, behave ourselves the best that we could, you know, which my mom always said I was a pretty good kid, you know, all in all, I was pretty good. I did a few things, you know, but my brothers, he gave them more of a run for their money than I did. I'll say that. But when it came to the divorce, we were still expected to respect each parent, and that their divorce was not to have anything to do with us. And we were not dragged in the middle of it. I can tell you, they didn't have text messages back then, but I can tell you that my mom didn't come and run and tell me everything that my dad said or show. Say we had text messages back then. Perfect example. If we had text messages back then, my mom would not have come and shown me, or my dad gone and shown my brother text messages between the two of them. But you know what I mean? Like that it was just not a thing. It was the divorces between my mom and dad, not us. We were not part of it. Um, but unfortunately, that was not the same scenario in my divorce at all. I was the one who's sitting there saying, "Oh, your dad and I'll figure this out. It's okay," you know, blah blah blah. Some people just can't do that. Yes, exactly. And J. Robin, you really should. Children need to be allowed to be children. You should not have children babysitting the other children all the time. They're not capable of it. You shouldn't have them in the middle of everything all the time. However, doing so, there's a lot of things that I did not say, that there are certain things that you can discuss with your children, even my adult children. I just never say anything. They actually told me, but you didn't ever tell us anything. Okay. It's like, well, why would I? It's, you know, it's between your dad and I. Anything going on. But they set it up to where he goes and tells them anything and everything with his twist on it. But because I stayed silent and I said, no, I'm not dragging the kids in on it, even though they're dragged in, it allowed him to get away with telling them whatever he wanted to tell them, and they could think whatever they wanted to think without hearing anything different from what he was telling them. So I did find out, no, you do need to speak up and tell the truth. You know, I did recently have to tell my children a little truth bomb that they were kind of surprised about. And I spoke with my therapist about it, and she's like, no, absolutely. You have to tell the children the truth. They deserve to know. But it was because somebody went into court and telling somebody I was on drugs, have to have a hair sample, follicle test. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad, yeah. And I've got it all in writing. So if he wants to deny it now, he can't because it's all in there. Got all the court papers, you know. But yeah, I said, well, maybe somebody shouldn't have lied to the judge and said I do drugs. Said you do drugs? You don't do drugs. I said, I know. Hell, I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore, y'all. I do the vape still. Yes, I do. Yes, Daphne, that's exactly true. They tell their version of the story, which is allowed a lot of things to occur that I should have learned how to stand up and say what needed to be said in a way, because you can do it without dragging children into the middle of it, and they deserve to know the truth. Oh yeah, Daphne, that's true. Daphne, that is absolutely 100%. Let me tell you, when I tell you, it was to the point where they were screaming, "Everything is your fault, your fault, all because of you." Look, I, as an individual, do not control somebody else's anger. I do not sit here and control what they do, how they react. Okay, none of us do. You're mad at the world for whatever reason. You need to deal with your emotions and get your shit together. Nobody else can do that for you. And anytime that somebody wants to sit there and say it's all your fault, that's another huge, huge red flag. Huge red flag. Yeah, you got to stand up for yourself. Yeah, and unfortunately, you learn a little too late sometimes, you know? Well, Daphne, what he thought he was going to gain by putting me down is an undying loyalty from the children. That's what he thought. Um, he'd gain. I don't. It's a sick thing where okay, and this is when I say I will stand on my own. I mean it. I don't have to have an army of people around me to back me. When I have, when you try to have a conversation with someone, right? I don't need anyone else to back me up. I'm a grown ass woman. Put my big girl panties and I'm coming straight on. Okay? I'm straight on with you. I don't need to have anybody else in my conversation, my disagreement, my argument, whatever it is. I don't need that. Other people can't because they can't. It's I don't know. It's a sick thing. It's very disturbing. Um, I'm not really sure why some people are like that, but they are. They definitely are. Definitely, when I say you can't sit there and hang, you can't stand your own ground. You've got to have others around you to do it. Yeah, Daphne. Well, and here's the thing. And I know it's used a lot, but if you just look into it and they say the narcissist and their flying monkeys, it's very true. It's very true. And before you even realize what's going on, or you really see it full blown, or understand, want to admit that you married a narcissist, um, it's you're in knee deep, and it's too late. But they've got to gather because they've got to convince everyone else you're crazy, delusional, you're out there, you're unstable. Um, oh my gosh, I think about it now and I'm like, get so angry about things and I'm like, unstable. You want to know unstable? You're talking to a bitch with no two fucks left to give. That could be unstable. That maybe now, you know what? That's maybe now. Maybe you should be watching your back. I don't know. I'm just saying, why would you go if you thought somebody was so unstable and so unpredictable and so fucking crazy and out there? What in the hell? And here's the other thing. If it's so bad, why would you have to lie? There was some major, oh my goodness, it's nuts. It's nuts. So answer your question, what do you hope to gain? I don't know. What's sad though, because to me, I don't The last thing you should ever do is to try to divide people. You divide a family, you divide a parent from their children, you divide anything. That should never be done. My parents didn't do that. Yeah, teach your children there are two who get married and takes two to get divorced. Both have sides and their own differences that can make or break them. They are not divorcing their children. Exactly. And I actually, yeah, I kind of have that in some messages. Me not wanting to be with you has nothing to do with my children. I did not divorce my children, just you. Yeah, Daphne, absolutely. They do all they can to achieve external validation to protect dealing with their own inner problems. They never deal with. Exactly. And when you you hit the you got it. You already know. Look, Daphne, you dealt with this, haven't you? that validation. When you seek validation constantly, that's again another red flag. Um, you got to have everybody think that you're a wonderful person, and it's just like you don't care what the one person. To me, the one person that I would ever care what they really think about me, besides my kids, the one person would be my spouse. That's the only person. I was never concerned about what anybody else thought of me or how anybody else viewed me or validation from anybody else. My spouse was the only one I needed validation from. That was the only one that I needed to have in my corner. Like that's the person I'm confiding in, right? They're your number one. That's how it's supposed to be. But when you can't do that because you need so much validation and you just have to have everybody think you're this wonderful, wonderful person. And you go and you do for everybody else except for your spouse. When that's the last person you could be. The way he was raised and his own insecurities. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, those own insecurities that they have cost a lot. Hey, it cost me my freedom. I ended up getting my freedom because of it, where I'm not bound by that. I'm not tied down. And, um, you know, I don't have to answer to anybody. I didn't ever really have to answer anyways, right? Like that I never felt like it was, I don't think you should feel like you're obligated to. I think it's something that for me, that's what you want to do. You want, for me, I want my spouse to be the first one that I go to for things. The first one that, I can't wait to go and tell them this. I can't, wait for this, wait for that. But when you can't do that and you get the opposite, you get people that are like, you're the first one I'm going to try to fuck over. You are the first one I'm going to ostracize and have sitting on the outside. And you're the first one I'm not going to tell, you know? Hey, Rocket City girl, good morning. Um, that's so far out there. It's just crazy when I think about that. And like, how is it? Ah, again, it's just what we accept for ourselves, and seeing it for really what it is, and acknowledging it. So those are the things that you have to just say. Yes. Oh my gosh, Daphne, you've got one you're dealing with. Oh my gosh. Well, you had one. What are you dealing with? Yes. Exactly, Daphne. That's bingo, bingo, bingo. They definitely want to be seen as the better person. Constant attention, praise, admiration, and validation from others to fuel their self-worth at any cost. Exactly. Hope works out good for them. Absolutely. got to be seen as the better person. When always, doing the most, doing this, doing that. Like, this is how bad it was when I think back about it, okay? This just spoke so much volume, okay? We had his aunt come into town with her fiance. And again, they got married in our house. I performed the ceremony, right? Well, I was working, had the kids, threw this wedding together for them. I mean, the whole shebang, right? Like, I'm going. And all of a sudden, this was so weird. My ex-husband, in front of everybody, of course, just made this big production of, oh, everybody tell your mom thank you. Oh, she's done so much work, blah, blah, but just all this gratitude and, oh, how wonderful it was that I had done this and that. And, oh, she's put this wedding together for, aunt and da, 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 and I was very uncomfortable because it was, what? Wait. You spent how long sitting here telling me how horrible I am, how big of a piece of shit I am, and how I don't do anything, and how lazy I am. I'm like, what? Hold on, But it was because his aunt said something to him, I found out. I was wondering where it came from. Because I was just so taken back, like, what in the world? Huh? And she's like, you never sit down. And it was at that moment that I wanted to cry, because it was like, thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing that I'm not this lazy piece of shit, that I'm not this person that just sits there and does fucking nothing all day long. I appreciated that. I really appreciated that. And I didn't realize until that point how much I needed that. I did need to hear that. And that was not something that helped me to stay in that marriage. It actually kind of did the opposite, because I was like, if your aunt could come here and see this, and then all of a sudden you change your tune, because just right before she got here, when I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off doing all this shit, you're going to sit here and tell me how horrible of a person I am in front of the kids, everything, right? Like, I can't, which I don't understand why. And, I think about it and I think, it's because you were mad because you couldn't do it. That's what it is. You're mad because you couldn't do it. You can't hold a candle to the shit I'm doing. Multitasking. You guys know you multitask the hell out of life when you're a mom. You're working, you're doing the kids, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then you got these people coming at you. You got your own husband coming at you, telling you how horrible you are all the time because you go to work. You need to quit your job, but then they tell you to quit your job, but then you need to get a job. You need to get a job. You need to get. I'm not doing the yin and yang, and I told him that the last time. He's like, I hate your job, and I was like, I don't know why you do. You don't have to work it. I do, and I love my job. And I said, I'm not doing the yin yang situation with you. You're never satisfied with where you're at with your job. You're the one who has to change jobs all the time. That's not me. I don't have to do that. And he didn't like that either. Oh, Daphne, I'm sorry. Yeah, he could see it, at least he saw some of, maybe got a little glimpse of how wrong he was in some of the stuff he did. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of, a lot of damage that is done. And I understand, trust me, I understand. And I tell you what, my ex-husband, he would tell me, this was another thing, is how they get to you. Your parents fucked you up. Your childhood really fucked you up. You know that? What? Are you kidding? So they like to take one of the things to do is to take for me, the abusive situation and use that against you, because that's what that is. No, I'm sorry. I was adopted at 4. Yes, it was a really rough first 4 years, but my mom made sure I saw the best damn therapist that there were to see, a psychiatrist. I mean, she made sure that I had the help that I needed, to, to work through and get through all that stuff. Yeah, does stuff like that affect a person? Absolutely. However, I was always taught that you define who you are. You don't let what others have done to you define who you are and who you're going to become and what you're going to do in life. And I've always tried really, really hard to hold on to that, you're not going to get the best of me on this. I'm going to have to continue on and put my best foot forward. Thank you. Thank you, Rocket City Girl. There are better days ahead. That's right. There's going to have to be better days ahead. There had some good ones, But, so the whole childhood thing, I get it. I get where that it can definitely affect you still. It's, for me, it's just fighting for that worth, like you're worth it, right? Like, so that's where I know mine goes all the way back from very early on. How can you tolerate things like this for yourself? How can you think that you shouldn't be put first, or you believe anything that they do say about you? Well, very easily for me, I personally, I think it's because, hey, I had birth parents who couldn't get their shit together. I wasn't important enough for you to get your shit together to keep me. No, and I do. I think, yeah, that kind of fucked me up. Not necessarily a good way, because that has allowed for me to put up with things and tolerate things and accept things that I never should have, and to not see my worth and my value, because I definitely am worth, loyalty, faithfulness, being treated properly, But the aunt coming into town and doing that, it just, and I know she meant well by it, and she absolutely did. I don't think she realized how much of an impact that did make on me, because it really helped me to see, yeah, I am right. I am correct. I'm not this lazy person that you're trying to tell me that I am, and that I'm this biggest piece of shit ever. What the hell? I don't get it. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I'd be scratching my head trying to figure out what in the world, as I'm floating around doing shit all day long, Okay. Yeah, exactly, Dad. We take some of the blame, thinking we could, hmm, do, 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 do. Boom. Okay. There you go. Bye-bye, Charlie lacks empathy. But we do. We take some of that blame. We can't be taking it when it's not ours. Oh, you had a heart attack, and Robin, I'm sorry. But I gotta tell you, I wouldn't feel bad if somebody, I, look, y'all, and that's just me being, that's my anger, right? It's like, man, shoot, if he were to die tomorrow, I'd have a hard time keeping it together to support my children. I'd be like, go to graveside. We're dancing now? You know, like that's how much anger I have towards him. Basically, what I'm saying is I wouldn't care if he dropped dead tomorrow or today. Yesterday would have been too soon, you know? But that's just, my anger talking, my frustration. And it is what it is, man. You can do whatever you want. Have fun with it. I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't want to be the one going doing what I've done. They want to make it right with the Lord first. And that was the other thing too, y'all. What they do is they yeah. Yeah. Charlie lacks sympathy, I don't think was a nice comment. So I yeah, they're gone. Daphne, you should get out of here. I don't know. But that comment, Daphne, I don't think was a nice one. So they're yeah. If I misunderstood that in some kind of way, let me know. But I don't think I did. Yeah, I made excuses like once I feel like supporting myself and my son. Yeah. Well, wait until the kids get older. Wait until this. Wait until that. Yeah. No. There's no more waiting. It gets to a point when you're done. You're done. You know? Yeah. But I know that I honestly would not have any. I don't think I would drop one tear. Yeah. It's not always easy to move on. It isn't. It isn't. And it's not even moving on as far as like another relationship or anything like that. That's not, no. It's for me at this point. Hey man, that's cool. I'm over that. I'm over the marriage part of it. That's whatever. If I want to go out on a date, I'll go on a date. Hell, y'all. I had a guy. Oh my gosh. But I've had a couple guys, but this one particular, I didn't even realize. I was like, is this what freaking dating looks like? Because I have no clue. We were at the store, and this guy is helping us sign. We had to sign up for a membership, and he's chatting and all this other stuff, and whatever. And so we walk away, and I look at my daughter, and I says, "Man, I think he was kind of flirting, wasn't he?" And she's like, "Ma, he asked you out." She goes, "Yeah, he was flirting. He asked you out on a date." And I was like, "Oh, is that what that was?" She shook her head. She's like, "Yeah, Mom, he did." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, you know." My other friend who asked me out, he's did it more directly, more point blank, direct. I guess because he knows, Becca, if I want her to understand this, I'm gonna tell her directly. Because the other one, I was just like, he's flirting, whatever. But with that, I'll say this: it was nice because I've always felt like I projected out there that I'm married, right? I've always, kind of had that people don't mess with you kind of thing. And I told my daughter, I was like, you know what? That's cool because that means I'm projecting that I'm single. Like somehow my vibe is giving off that, hey, I'm not taken anymore, and that's cool. Oh, okay, Frank. I'm sorry. I'll go later and unblock you. Then I'm sorry. I, I thought it was somebody else, like taking a jab at Charlie Girl, who's usually on panel. I'm sorry, Frank. I apologize. Thank you for letting me know. Is that you, Frank? See, Daphne, I didn't know. I thought it was somebody taking a potty shot at Charlie Girl, like trying to be rude. I apologize, Frank. I'm sorry. Welcome back in, Frank. Okay, I unhid you on the channel. I got you back. You're back on here. Yeah. See, Rocket Girl said, Frank, be nice, please. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I don't know. But so it's nice to know that I don't give the married vibe off anymore. Isn't that cool? Oh, NJ Robin, 25 years ago. Oh, I'm sorry, NJ Robin. Found him deceased the night. Oh, ooh, ouch. But see, I'm telling you, somebody could call and tell me something happened to my ex. I'd be like, okay, and one, why you calling me? That terrible. Look, that's terrible. I know it's terrible. I know. God forgive me. But I'm just like, why are you calling me? I'm sorry. Do you think I got two shits to give about it? Like, hey, that's y'all have fun planning it. Like nobody would be calling me for that. I unhit him, Daphne, if he's been nice. You're right, City. She said that's our Frank. Yeah, I didn't realize it was. I'm sorry. I really thought it was I thought it was a troll because I saw the name Charlie, and I thought, oh, they're coming in taking a shot at Charlie Girl. So, like by being mean to Daphne, and I was like, oh no, no, I'm sorry. I got you back in there though. So yeah, hopefully if anything happens to him, he makes amends and he does what he needs to do, make it right, whatever. But don't be calling me. Ain't no reason to call me. I'm definitely not on the list of people to call. You know, not at all. Not at all. And I sure hope nobody call me thinking I'd be sad. Lord, please don't. No, I did. I said one day, I said, Lord, let me outlive him so I can dance over there. That's terrible, right? See, that's mean. And I don't want to be mean, but I am angry. I still am angry. And 27 years of crap, I'm probably going to be angry for a little while. But I got to be able to move on with my life and do what I'm going to do and enjoy my life. So that's where I'm at. Like, okay, well, you know what? Don't be angry about it. Just let it go. Don't, I've already let him go. You know, that's not the issue. It's the shit that happened, the situations and the circumstances. That's what I'm irritated that I accepted that for myself. That's more my aggravation. Oh, he was 60 years old? Dang, that's young, NJ Robin. I'm sorry. 60 is really young. Right. I think it's young. The older you get, the younger it looks, you know? My dad used to always tell me, he said, the older you get, percentage wise, you get closer to my age. Oh, okay. I was thinking, yeah, come kids. Oh, no. Ooh, Daphne, I'm sorry. But y'all were you still married? Mm. See, yeah, I wouldn't want to, oh, goodness. I'm glad that you did that, though. At least you took care of him. See, you did the right thing. You held true to who you were no matter what he had done. I'd like to think I would do that, but see, I'm not married to him anymore. I'm the ex, man. The ex has no place in any of the shit that goes on anymore, you know? Yeah, see, you were still married. I'm an ex, man. I get to play that X card all the way. Oh, somebody stroked out and Now half their body's paralyzed. Oh, I'm sorry. Not my problem. That's my ex. Why would that be my problem? Not at all. Like I said, for me, I'm just holding on to the newfound freedom here. Diabetic coma. Oh no. Should have been doing antibiotics unless it was in the hospital and to be monitored. Came home that Monday night, and thought he was out in diabetic coma. Oh no. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I say again, you held true to who you were and you still took care of him. See, if I was still married to him, I would, but I'm not married, so I don't have to do it. Oh. Mm. Yeah, that life support thing would be a bad one. See, they wouldn't call me. Do not look, y'all. I'm just put it out there. My ex were to end up on life support. Do not call me at this point in time. Do not call me. Do not think I'm going to show up at the hospital. Because if you expect me to be at the hospital and that man would be on life support, I'm saying there may be an electrical issue somewhere. You know what I mean? Don't call me. Call someone who cares. You know, that's how I feel about that one. You know, like, hey, look, sorry about your luck, man. Sorry, whatever's going on with you. You know, now I would still have enough respect. I would actually do anything like that. Electrical issue would not be my fault, of course, but I'm just saying, like, you can't go and do shit that you've done and think that somebody's still gonna be there to take care of your ass, because it ain't gonna be me. I want to go get remarried real quick. Yeah, see, I wouldn't have had to call you, but yeah, they don't want to. Yeah, don't call me. Oh, don't. Mm-mm. Don't sit here and get mad at me because I don't give crap. I'm sorry. Excuse me. So, I'd really have a hard time because I'm sure if something like that were to happen, oh my goodness, I already know how it would go. I would be horrible because I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't do this or that. I wouldn't take, whatever. Yeah, I don't think so. Absolutely not. But I will say this, and this was a funny situation. I did have one of my kids said, well, when you get old, I'm not putting you in a nursing home. You'll stay with me, right? I'm like, oh, okay. And so I don't know where Dad's gonna go. Uh, yeah, interesting. Which I do kind of have to smile a little bit about that because for somebody who has to be the Disneyland dad, the favorite, so, seeking validation from anyone and everyone, that kind of, whatever. Um, I thought it was really ironic how those, there was a few that said, oh, hell no, he ain't living with me. I'm not saying which kids it was who said it, but there were some kids that said, no, we're not taking him in. Mm-mm. Oh, no. I was like, oh, well, that's funny. Yeah, okay. Oh, you didn't wish it? Oh, well, that's good, Daphne. I'm glad you didn't wish anything bad on him because I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I'm not going to lie. I'm not wishing anything bad on him. I'm just saying something bad were to happen, I wouldn't feel bad. That's how I should phrase that. Yeah, NJ Robin, exactly. I do. I gotta get, as I said, my irritation, my aggravation. My anger, my therapist said, no, you need to feel angry. It's okay. And I'm like, no. Um, because I don't think it's healthy to be angry. But then it's like, well, how do you not be angry when you wasted 27 years on someone who did not deserve you? There you go. And that's, yes. Yeah, exactly, Daphne. I get that one too. Oh, Daphne, got my divorce February 6th, 2026. I'm free. That's what I said. I am free look, I'm free as a Jaybird, man. I'm good to go. Divorce is finalized. Thing that pissed me off, I didn't even know. I was so mad. Ooh, I was so mad I didn't even know. Because the attorney missed the deadline. Long story. So it was a default. Oh, it was horrible. Absolutely horrendous. Um, yeah, really frustrating. And of course, the um, Little Van Zant County, they're in a lot of trouble because the judges are kind of crooked, shall we say. And attorneys are crooked as well. So I could tell what was said. I've got all the divorce proceedings. I got everything. And what was said by the judge in court was not what was in the decree. Very interesting. And that's all I'm going to say about that. See, Daphne, there you go. That's right. No, I don't really have to deal with him at all. Um, he's not man enough to even have a conversation. Like I just can't believe the lack of maturity. It's unreal. It's like, are you shitting me? I got the emails to prove it. I said to him, you need to grow up. This is ridiculous. Da, 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 da. And I was very factual in my email. And he just, yeah, you can tell he's very upset because he doesn't have control anymore. He's absolutely tried to steal control and to, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, pot farmer. Shit. Oh yeah, Daphne. My ex went and told the judge that I was on drugs and all kinds of shit. Yeah, I've got it all in the paperwork. I was like, what the hell? It's like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, there was the extent that he went to. Mm-mm-mm. And that's why I said, you know what? I will not pass a moment to tell somebody what a piece of shit you are. You lied, committed perjury. That's all I'm gonna say on that one, because there's things that can be done with that too. It's against the law to go into court and lie. Do you know that? There were some big lies that were told in there. And it's all on paper. It's all there. I'm sure, I promise you it's not a lie. Because he actually tried to tell me that I was an addict. I've got the text messages to prove it. Um, you are an addict. What the fuck? Coffee and cigarettes. Okay. I've got the proof. Yeah, well, the proof was my daughter-in-law. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Daughter-in-law decides she's going to bring in I don't know if it was her meth pipe or her brother's, because I know her brother has a problem with it. Bring in a meth pipe into the house and tell one of my kids that it was mine. She found it on the counter. Bitch got me fucked up. You know that I have a brother who passed away from addiction. I don't think that's a very cool thing to try to use against somebody, her or him. I think it's really messed up to do that. Again, using your grief against you. Oh, baby, that's just how big of a piece of shit people are. That's you know, that's somebody. That's a horrible thing to do to somebody. And yeah, that's yeah. Like, I'm gonna give this to your dad. You can take it to the judge. Well, I don't have a meth pipe, so there's that. I don't do meth. There's that. Yeah, okay. 3 years ago, well, almost 4 years ago, I tried to, the gummies you can buy at the store, which actually he went and bought the gummies, trying to help with the neuropathy pain in the legs. And he's like, you did the gummies, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I bought them at the tobacco store. You paid for them. So it made me sick. I couldn't even do it anymore. I couldn't do it because it makes me sick, which, is sad because they did help with the pain better than anything they prescribe you, but I can't do it because it makes me sick. I feel like I have a hangover or something. Oh, yeah, I know. I got all my kids out of that, but that's, all the rest of it was a waste. Yeah, exactly, Daphne. I am too. Karma will get you. Karma will get you every time. Exactly what um, exactly what I think. And by him going into court and telling, oh my goodness, it's just crazy. So, okay, he thinks he won, and I finally, the other day, I just said, oh my God, I won. Wait a second, you you may have got like I got nothing, nothing. Okay, it's pretty rough. I was like, oh shit, dude, really? Um, Absolutely nothing. He got everything, and I'm okay with that because I just look at it and I go, you do realize I really do think I won on that. He just doesn't realize it yet, but I won, and I could go and fight. There, and I may, um, but I've got time to go do what I got to do whenever, because there's several things that were done incorrectly. Perjury that's committed is absolutely a huge no-no. There's a couple things there. Karma seems to wait on the evilest people. It's sad. I know. Exactly. True. Because we want instant. I want an instant karma, but I do know that there's already been some karma that's gone, gone, gone back on them. So it's okay. I'm good with it. I'm like, ooh, look at it. And it begins, and I do believe that, everybody, you'll have your time, but like I said, I'm out here, I'm free as a jaybird, and I just smile and thought, I won. I got that right. And I can't wait till my baby, he always tells me he's going to get me a Bugatti. He's gonna grow up. He's gonna be in the Navy. He's gonna buy me a Bugatti. And then he said, I'm gonna get some pit bulls to protect you with the Bugatti because people are gonna be trying to get you. And he says, I'm gonna make sure that I have a butler and I gotta hire people to take care of the pit bulls because I don't want you to have to do anything, Mom. I said, well, then what would I do? Because he's gonna hire a maid. He's gonna have somebody cook. He's doing the whole shebang on Navy's pay. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I'm sure he'll make it work. And he said, I said, well, what am I going to do? And he goes, well, you're just going to stay at the house and wait for me to get back. He goes, but I don't want you to have to cook or clean or anything. You don't even have to take care of the dog. You just drive around in the Bugatti. Roger that. Turmeric and honey. I'm gonna try that. Yeah. Do you have kitten too with the baby? Your baby? No, I got my dog. I got Lilybit and the kittens. They're cats. They're my daughter's cats. They're my grandcats. They're my grandbabies. Yeah. And the one, Lilybit gets along with Momo, but her and little man go at it. She gets so jealous because they'll come over and want loving, and um, little man doesn't warm up to people real easy. He's got to know you and feel like you're part of the family in order. Like if anybody comes over, he runs and hides. So when he comes out and he gets loving and stuff, she does not like it. Yes, that's little man. And I always say, I got to get a video of him walking around and doing his crazy stuff that he does because he is absolutely hilarious. And I always just tell my daughter, I said, you know what? I said, he's Thomas O'Malley. Thomas O'Malley, the alley cat from Aristocrats. That's his attitude. That is his attitude, full blown. She's like, yeah, he's just a little shit. He can be sometimes, but he's just a cat with an attitude. But he's a sweet thing. But he thinks he's the head honcho around here. He thinks he is. Oh no, NJ. No ma'am. Did not. He got everything. Everything. Even though in court it was ordered for one thing, but his attorney wrote something else down. Like I said, that's it. Turmeric, Kirk. Yeah, I might. Yeah, probably gonna. I'll look into that. And it really helps. Because, I just say you got the arthritis, the bursitis, you got all the itises. I know. The dead cat is cute. He is a cutie. He's my baby. And Lily Vickers. I just tell you, you need to sit down and hush up. He'll eat you for a snack because he's way bigger than her. She's not even 3 pounds, She's a little itty bitty thing. Oh, I know, Daphne. She is doing a great job with them, isn't she? She's fantastic. And she's got the patience for it. She does good. Me, I'm over here fumbling on stuff. How do I get to this? She goes, oh, just go here, da-da-da. Oh, okay. So, yeah, she's got some great stuff that she's doing. Oh, your doctor put you on it. Cool. Well, I'll have to look into that and give it a try. Although, my leg pain has gotten a whole lot better. A whole lot better. Interesting. Now that I think about it, it doesn't hurt near as bad as it used to. That's why I say I won, I won. My hair, look, I lost a lot of weight. My hair was going thin, like really thin. And my daughter's like, Mom, your hair's coming back. She's like, I really think you're doing good about being in that house. Thank you. And I quit smoking. Can y'all believe that crap? I'm losing all kinds of bad habits. It's been nice, I gotta say. Funny. Oh my goodness. I just okay. I just thought of something that just made me kind of laugh a little bit. Kind of chuckle. Mm-mm-mm. And you know what? You know what's really sick, guys? This is something that's always kind of really, I don't want to say haunted, but I think it was a precursor. Like I knew, right? Because I was riding with my ex-husband. We were going somewhere, and he's like, "Well, um, people get divorced and get remarried all the time." It's like, what? Like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? I have no clue what the hell. This was a while back, like 2 years or so ago. And I was like, what the hell? And he goes, my aunt did that. They got divorced and they got remarried. Come again? She got married. She got married, got divorced. She got married to another guy. They got divorced, and she went back to the first husband. Or I don't know if it was her first husband or not, but her ex-husband. She went back to him. And I remember thinking, I was like, hell no. You're next. You're next. You stay next. I don't do that. I don't go back double dipping. No, I'm not double dipping on my own shit. Why would you do that? It's done. It's over. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. There was not, NJ Robin. There's an issue with it. There's an issue with the paper. It's like I said. There's a couple of different things on there that it's really, really bad. I'm like, wait, but that's not what you say over here. But then here, yeah, there's legality wise. If you ever look into Van Zandt County, Vanzandt, I don't live there anymore, but if you ever look in there, okay, you can look it up and you can see all kinds of things. There's major issues with the county DA, with some of the judges. Like they just had a court case. There's this gentleman who's 90 years old, had property out there, and they did this underhanded, oh my gosh, they stole his property, his home and everything, put all of his shit outside, went and sold it with some kind of developers or whatever. I don't remember all of it. But I went and took it to the judge, and the judge said, nope, this is legit, blah, blah, blah. Little county judge, right? Well, he went and took it to the Court of Appeals and just found out yesterday he won the case. And they said, oh no, that judge acted incorrectly, blah, blah, blah. It's Little Podunk, Van Zandt County. I'm not sure, like, these judges, there's several things that the judges, attorneys, and DAs. The DA just got voted out. She'll be there, I guess, till January. But they just had elections and she did not win. Because a lot of the corrupt stuff that has been going on there is being exposed, and more is getting exposed. So that's why I said I'll just sit down and wait my turn. I'm good. Corruption goes pretty deep. And if you want anything done, you cannot go to those courts. You have to go to the higher courts. Those judges and attorneys are a mess, a hot mess. It's unbelievable. The attorney that I was working with, she's like, I have never seen anything like this in my life. Because somebody knows somebody, and it's called small town, good old boy system, You mean to each other or another person? What the hell? What are you talking about, Daphne? Oh, thank you, Daphne. I look good. I feel good. I feel better and better every day. Oh, the marriage thing. No, he was saying you get divorced and then get remarried. And I've kind of always thought, did he really think we get divorced and then get remarried? I know in the divorce decree it says if we were to get remarried that this would be null and void. I don't know what kind of fuckery bullshit that is. Well, yeah, and J. Robin, that's something. But you got to have the money for an attorney. You got to have all that stuff, and then you've got to get an attorney to go to appeals court and all that stuff. So it's all there. There's definitely A lot of wiggle room in there. Oh yeah, who wants that? Yeah, exactly. Well, it was his aunt. She got married. Her one husband got divorced, got remarried to another guy, married another man. They got divorced, and she went back and remarried the first husband. All right, Frank. Thank you for coming in. Have a good day. Yeah. So that's been my life for a few months now, and I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing I can at the moment. It's all good. It's just going to be me getting my shit together and just really being good with me. I'm good with who I am. I'm just not that horrible person that he kept trying to say I was. I don't understand why. I don't understand people who have to constantly go and tear somebody down because they need to feel better about themselves. And it's actually was told to me is because they're deflecting who they are onto you. That's how they feel about themselves, and they have to put that onto somebody else. Well, I could tell you now, you don't have to put it off on me anymore. I'm gone. You know what I mean? So you take yourself out of that situation, there'll be somebody else that's targeted. There always is. Always is. Yep. Every day will get better. Yep. Every day will get better and better. Um, yeah, I've got some things in the works that going to be good. Going to be real good. I think they will be. I'm just a little gypsy over here. I can live a gypsy life now. Gypsy life, floating around doing whatever I want to do. In J. Robin, I've tried that, and that was the problem. That's the attorney that I got didn't get the stuff in because oh gosh, I was like, what? Oh, we'll just go. It's a default. It's fine. Blah 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 blah. Happens quite often. It's okay. We'll just do this. Try to get a motion to reconsider or whatever. All these different things. The judge is like, nope, I'm not hearing it. I said, okay. So it'll have to go up to an appeals court because that judge we won't get anywhere with. He's as dirty as they come. Because most of the time, a judge who's on the up and up, we'll say, will do whatever they can to go ahead and say, okay, you know what, let's go ahead and hear both sides. We understand that, that court date was missed, but we'll go ahead and hear both sides and actually base a divorce off of factual information, evidence, not just somebody signing a piece of paper saying this happened. Okay. Try to tell the judge too. We wrote it all out, and say, hey, we've got this. If you give us a chance, I can show you it all. Nope, didn't want to see it. Oh, you don't want to see the court, the police reports from what he did? You don't want to see any of that? You don't want to take any of the victims or the witness statements? Not the victims, but the witness statements. You don't want to see any of that. You don't want to, call in the truth. You don't want to do that? Okay. Yeah. So it's been very frustrating. Very frustrating. But again, You know, I have to look at the other side. I have to look at the shiny side of the coin. Shiny side. I got the shiny side. I have to say. I think I did. For the most part, I did. I do think it's really fucked up. 27. It is. It is screwed up. 27 years. I didn't even get all my personal stuff. He stole shit. Absolutely. Even after we separated, I had bought things and he stole them. Nice, right? And the shit that was in the house, he didn't even pack it up. He had my kids pack it up. The children, young children, pack it up. That's fucked up, in my opinion. That's really messed up. But hey, that's why when we're out here on the YouTube streets and somebody wants to say something, I'm like, go ahead. What you got? What you got? Come at me. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good. What you gonna do? You got nothing on me. Just it's the title's not, but the deed is. My name's on the deed. And that's part of it. That'll be where because they said one thing under oath, then they went and they slid it into the divorce decree, and the judge just signed it. He just rubber stamped it. You know, he didn't read over it and look at all the details. He trusted that they were doing the right thing, possibly. Don't know. I don't know if he, who knows. But I definitely know that what was said under oath and was sworn to did not occur at all. And that's my ex's, he swore under oath, but that's not what happened, what occurred. So that's against the law too. That's perjury. Because when you swear under oath that you can divide the property just and fair, and then you don't do that, that's perjury. You lied saying that you would do that and make sure that it was. Because in the state of Texas, just and fair, or fair and just, however they say it, when you're dividing marital property and assets, it's 50-50. Not one person gets every single thing, including your personal things, even though in there it says I'm supposed to get my personal effects. But, because I have a shoulder injury from him, I'm not able to work said job that I had. Plus, where I'm at now is it's like an hour and 45-minute drive. He got the vehicle, so he got the vehicle too. And I was borrowing my daughter's vehicle. So technically, I don't even have a vehicle to get all the way out there to work every day, driving that far. Either way, I can't physically do that job anymore. It's just not going to be possible, unfortunately. So I'll end up doing, something else that's not as physically demanding, because it was a physically demanding job where you kind of have to have your shoulder in working condition. So that'll be another thing that I will pursue as well. It's okay. Hey, I'm not the one. He's got the mortgage. He's got, all that shit. And he's got a lot of my personal shit. And I really think it's because he just can't let me go, huh? You're that so controlling. You couldn't even give me my personal shit? Yeah. I think there's a problem with that. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, like my KitchenAid mixer. that was given to me as a Christmas gift from my daughter. Definitely mine. You know, because there's a lot of stuff that was actually mine. There's a lot of stuff in that house that was my mom's from when I was growing up. She cleared out. That's okay. People like that, like you said, karma is going to bite them in the ass. That's all I'm going to say. I've got me and I've got my safety, which is important. Because when you're targeted and you're given death threats, y'all, I'm telling you, it's so nice to not hear screaming and yelling, having somebody scream over you in your face, towering over you, trying to be domineering, right? Punching tables, walls, everything. You know, it's so nice not to see that and to go, wow, that's not normal. I've lived that for so damn long. Like if you try to say anything, I can't even take, even when he's like, what's the matter? What's around? Let's sit down and talk. And I was like, no, you're just going to start screaming and yelling. No, I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream and yell. And you go there and you sit down and you try to have a conversation, and what happens? Boom, screaming and yelling. There you go. Do you know how nice it is to not have that? Really nice. And it's just like, this is what life is like? You mean people could actually have a conversation and solve things without screaming and yelling? Interesting. Very nice. And it's nice to not hear, you know, you should just kill, you know, do yourself in, go put a bullet in your head. It's nice not to hear that. It's nice not to hear somebody saying, yeah, you should be dead, bitch. You know, that kind of stuff. It's just like, y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are sick. You know, you see why I said if something were to happen to him, don't call me. Do not call me and think that I'm going to feel any kind of way. Love you, Fancy. Fancy. Daphne wants you to give her some lessons on your video making too, by the way. She loves your videos. Yeah. Oh, NJ Rama, it's okay. No, this is the first time I've really talked more in depth about some of it. Yeah, it's the divorce has been there and stuff, you know. But this one, but like I said, that's why I don't look, man. I'm gonna have my fun with what would you do if you found out your ex. You know, I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm fun with it. You know, nobody can tell me I can't do that anymore. You're not gonna shame me into not doing it or not having fun in life anymore. And that's just where I stand with that. You know, I don't have to ever have somebody sit there and, you know, shush me. Oh my God, you know, whatever. Just, you know, dismissive. Look, do the hand thing, wave somebody away. I'm done talking. Are you done with a whole lot of things? See, Fancy, she wants a class. You're going to have to give classes. Yeah, NJ Robert. Yep, kids are at the house. Yeah. They don't need to be removed from the home, you know, in their schooling. Got a hard enough road, you know, situations that they've had going on and stuff. And, yeah, that's why you fight like hell to keep them out of the, you know, situation. But they just, some people don't want to. So that's why I say I hope I outlive him because I'll be dancing on that, you know. Like I said, if he has something were to happen, I'd be like, oh, have fun with that. Yeah, Jay Robert. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could have been done differently, but that's okay. I mean, he used to, he'd scream at me. It's mine. It's all mine. Oh, okay. All right. I got you. The daughter-in-law. Hello, hello. The daughter-in-law that had the meth pipe that brought into the house. She's the one, she got mad because I had told her, hey, back off. These are my kids. Let me parent, just stand back, it was just, there was just so much chaos. It's like, to really get a good understanding, I have to go really in depth with it. But, she was very upset that I said that to her. And that was the day that Jenna, I thought, was going to come through the phone. So we got proven that you cannot physically go through a phone, because she would have that day. She was really trying her best to, because I was on a call when it all went down. Well, when that little section went down, it's like, oh, hold on, I say something. You just back off. I got the kids, just leave them alone. Um, she wanted to play mommy, and my ex wanted everybody to play mommy to try to prove that, I was not important or whatever. It's sick. It's sick. It's all so sick and disturbing. It's funny though, because she's had the baby, doesn't have the baby around the kids because, don't want the baby to get sick, and doesn't really do anything with the kids or anything. So there's one person that's no longer playing mommy. But it's ironic because, he wanted to go in the court and tell that judge that I was an addict. But yet one of the guys that he has that helps take the kids places and kind of stays with the kids or whatever, babysits them, is a pot smoker. And he's had to keep telling him, don't smoke pot around the kids. So you see the irony there, right? I'm like, seriously? You're going to go lie, say I'm an addict, which I did do. I did do a hair follicle test, right? I went and had it done to prove, well, I don't have anything in my system, whatever, and I was clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle. But you got a pothead sitting there with all the kids, Legally deed and both title important. Yeah, I know. We got the deed. And, it's fine. It is what it is. And, eventually I'll get the money together and get that attorney. And like I said, it's going to have to go further up. It won't be in that courthouse. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm already, I'm doing better already. Like, it was so bad. Oh my golly. When I tell you mentally, I was not in a good place. Um, it was bad. It was really, really bad. Anxiety was just, like I said, I don't even think you could consider it anxiety. It's something way worse than that, I'm sure. But, it has, I've been seeing a therapist, and she's really fantastic. And, um, and of course, you know, going in because, he kept screaming at me that I needed to, literally screaming, you need help, you need help, you need to see a therapist, you need help, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And they tell you so long that, you're crazy, you're delusional, you're fucked up, you're blah, blah, blah. And I've got it all on recording too. So if somebody wants to sit there and lie and say they didn't, I've got the recordings of it. So it's okay. Um, so go ahead and say that you didn't say it. You didn't do all the bullshit. Yeah, absolutely did. And it was a great thing though to go to the therapist, because I did get a diagnosis. I just don't think that it's what he thought it would be. Because you go in there and I'm like, look, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, because I want to diagnose. I want you to tell me what is wrong with me. because I'm told how crazy I am and how much I need help and I'm fucked up in the head and you're stupid and you're dumb and all this shit, right? No, the stupid dumb part was ever listening to him. The stupid dumb part was ever trusting that he was a good person when he wasn't. That was the stupid and dumb part. The stupid and dumb part was me not realizing my worth and that I didn't need to put up with him at all. That was stupid on my part. But my diagnosis was CPTSD, and I was like, wait a minute, but no, you're supposed to tell me I'm crazy. Like I really okay. Nope. Other than the CPTSD, I'm a pretty sound mind and body, I gotta say. So that's interesting. So therapy is a good thing. Like I said, I don't think that probably quite turned out the way he wanted it to, or that he hoped that it would. Again, it just went the opposite direction. Kind of like when his aunt came out, it was the opposite direction. I don't think it. Because like I said, with the aunt, when she came out and was saying all that, it was he's sitting there. Oh yeah, this is so good. Oh, you've done so much, blah blah blah. But that's not what you get any other time. Nice. So yeah, I get, I can talk about it. I can talk about what happened. Absolutely can. And I think it is very sad that anybody would take up for someone who has cheated and has done some of the things. It's very sad for you to sit there and say how stupid and dumb someone is all the time, how crazy they are, how, just all of it, right? Yeah. You get into a depression. That was another thing too, was depression. Um, that was a nice little diagnosis that the therapist was able to hand out too. And I was like, well, I wouldn't say depression now per se. I think I'm on the other side of that now, which, it's all a good thing, I think. It's all a good thing. So I continue. Hey, Georgetta. Well, we just have more of a serious live tonight. Well, I mean, it was, have my little story, what if time. But yeah, it's nice to know. And I guess I think that's the other thing, is to process it and to really go and, hey, I am on the other side. I am on the other side. And, it's kind of like, you don't have to wait for the other foot to drop, the other shoe to drop. I don't have to ever drive in a car with a maniac who has severe road rage. I don't ever have to do that again, which is so nice. So nice. Ooh, weird to be able to drive around, and I drive around in the cars with other people and we don't have any issues like that. Crazy. But I am on the other side of it now. So, it's just continuing to work through it and stop reliving the last 27 years. And I don't know if I'd really say it's reliving it, but thinking about the things. But I have to go and think about those things in order to work through it and to heal from it and move on. Yeah, Daphne. Sounds like you may have been through one of those rides too, or a time or two. Mm, yeah. Ordering myself home. No, no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. No more of that. No more. I don't. I'm telling you. It is nice. Funny how it goes, you know? That's why I said, no, I think I'm the one who won. I won pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Damn, I swear it sounds like you kind of lived the same kind of life there. I'm telling you. They're spitting exactly. They're screaming and yelling, hollering, standing over you. Oh, good golly. Oh, good. I'm glad she's safe. That's good. Yeah, and that is important. Is your making sure you're safe. You know, um, yeah. I know there was a threat here. And that did not go over very well. Um, did not go over well at all. Yeah, Daphne, see, come out better on the other side. Hmm. Yeah, and that's always a good thing I think to look forward to. I know, it's one of those things. It's hard because it has been really rough, and you just kind of like, yeah, but it's learning to that it is okay to enjoy life, right? Like it's okay to be on the other side and say, "Woohoo, let's go!" It's okay to have fun in life. There's nothing wrong with having fun, and enjoying life. When I say having fun, it's basically just enjoy life and to live at peace. Just yeah, yeah, definitely. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. When you go yin yang and back and forth like that, man, who can keep a head on straight? You go crazy. I mean, I was going crazy, yo. It was just it was too much. Nobody, it's too much. Too much, too much, too much. There's things in life I think nobody should have to live with or live through at all. There's definitely a way to communicate. There's a way to, because one of the things was, you don't listen to me. Okay, I'm listening to you. That doesn't mean because he would be mad if I didn't follow his instructions, or if he thinks I should have done something and I said, no, I don't agree with that. Um, it was hell to pay. Like, just because I'm not doing what you know you think I should do, or say what you think I should say, then that's not listening to you. I don't have to agree with you to listen to you, right? And like I said, um, and this is so ironic. It came in. He used to hate homosexuality, right? He just hated that, and I never have. All right. And then he came to me one time and he's like, "Oh, I met this guy at work. He's changed my mind. He's gay, but I like him, blah, 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 I was like, "Oh, okay." So he had a whole newfound sense of, people who have a different lifestyle. Right. And he was like, okay with it. He was good with it. And I was like, okay, well, I could just never hate on anybody like that. I have a lot of people I dearly love, that choose or not choose. they have different preferences than I do. Okay. I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me in the least. Okay. I don't hate on anybody because of who they love. That's just my stance. Y'all know that. But then not too long ago, he was listening to, one of these Southern Baptist preachers around here about, homosexuality is sin, da 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 da. And so he came in the door, 15 minutes listening to this dude, and he's hating on homosexuals again. Ironic, right? But because I would not go along with that, and I said I do not agree, and I don't listen to that, preacher because he spews nothing but hate. And I ended it and I walked away. I was like, I'm done. I'm not, this is not a conversation that's going to go anywhere because you're not going to convince me to hate on people for whatever reason. Okay. And it was something about, he had made a comment about believing in God or something. I don't know. And I said, I have my own, maybe it was about going to church or something. He wanted to go to a Baptist church that's there close to the house or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And you have to understand the area and where we live. It's very closed-minded, very closed-minded people. We'll say that. If you are not in a relationship that they deem to be okay, or if you are not the right skin color that they deem to be okay, you're in trouble. Okay. There's a lot of that there. And I had said to him, I have my own set of beliefs, my own viewpoints. Okay. Do you know he used that and said that I said I didn't believe in God? I said, where did I say that? Again, I've got it. You want to hear it? I definitely have it. I have that. I was like, that's not saying I don't believe in God. It's saying that I believe differently. For me, my God is an all loves. He's loving. He's supposed to love everybody, And I'm not here to sit here and pass judgment on somebody else for something like that, Yeah, Daphne, we should. Everybody keeps saying, you should write a book. You should write a book. Oh, man. I got time. I can write a book now. Thank you, J. Robin. But J. Robin, there's a lot of people. Look, there's a lot of people who have gone through this and are going through this. I actually had somebody who reached out and said, thank you for sharing this because it opened her eyes and made her realize what she had suspected, but was just still kind of in denial about it. She was able to acknowledge it. And yeah, so it was really nice to hear that. Like, okay, cool. And that's why I think, we do need to share. And some people, like, you shouldn't be saying anything, but no, you know what? I will. Because I definitely think people need to know that, what, and here's the thing. Akuna summed it up so nicely. She had said, she couldn't believe it. It was in the chat. I don't remember which live it was, but she had said she would have never have guessed because I hit it really well. Yeah. You get really good at it. And that hiding it, I think, comes at a cost because it comes at a cost of your own mental well-being, and when you keep going and you just, oh my goodness, you're just trying to stay afloat, and you just get so beat down and you got the depression going and you know what you become grouchy, you become this, kind of, I'm like, this is not me. This is not who I, no. And for me, that was definitely situational. All the shit that was going on, and you can't do that. It's not okay for anybody to do any. I got to a point where I didn't want to deal with anybody. I didn't want to deal with anything. I just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Can you please just let me, to not even be able to sleep, get to a point where somebody's telling you, you should be asleep. You should go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Don't tell me when to go to sleep. What the hell? I'm not a child. You don't need to tell me to go to sleep. Don't, no. But again, it's control, Um, yeah, it's nice not to be in that anymore. Yeah, we should write a book. Everybody put chapters in there. Could you imagine? Ooh, that would be something. Yeah, you hit it for years too. Yeah, you do. You hide a lot of it, and then I think it's take a blame, and I mean, it definitely affected me. Where I was becoming a person I didn't want to be. Like I was depressed, and like I said, I just leave me alone, just stop. And I was grouchy, and oh, very quiet at home, very very quiet, and yeah, that's why I love going to work so much because I could be me at work. I could be me at work. And it's funny because at home, people telling you how horrible you are and how stupid you are, how dumb you are, and how, all of it, right? But then you go to work and I'm like, well, they're not telling me how stupid I am and how crazy I am. They're doing the opposite. They're just like, hey, man, we really like you. Ha ha ha. Like they get my humor. They don't mind me talking to them, because I think when you're in a situation where, basically it's, you need to shut up, do what we want you to do. We don't want to hear you talk. We don't even really want to see you. Just cook and clean and do everything we expect you to do. And then you're supposed to be okay with that. Yeah. Um, that's not cool. I know I had said so many times, I am a human being. Could you treat me as such? We should never be saying that to ourselves or to anybody else. If you had to look at somebody and say that, that should have been a really big, really red flag for me, huge. Thank you, Jay Robert. Well, still trying to overcome stuff. Always overcome things. Yeah, though, you hate having to wear those masks and, um, yeah, you don't have to do it anymore. It's nice. It's like, okay, I got nothing I got to do that for, but it's just sad you get to a point where you're that good at it. Um, because like I said, for some reason, when they do things like the whole, I got this other woman in another state, right? And like that's an embarrassment, right? Like for some reason. And I think it's because, I know I've heard people say, oh, well, you couldn't keep your man satisfied. You couldn't do that, because people say things like that. And then it's like, well, that's not true. The problem is they have the issue. It's not our humiliation to bear. It's theirs. There you go. Yeah, stepping stones through life. That's absolutely true, and I think, well, these those stepping stones could be nicely planted in place, though. I don't need them like floating on water or anything. You have them sure-footed. Hey, Pam. Good morning. Well, there's definitely life lessons that we have to learn and to go through. Just the way it goes. And then, I think too, because it's you know, like I said, that whole thing of, was I not worth putting first? Was I not, um, because no matter what they want to say, no matter what, guys, when they go and they put another female in front of you, they go and they defend her to you. That is a huge problem. They'll say, yeah, shouldn't do that. 27 years, you could never not once do it. Just saying. Not my not my humiliation to bear there. That's his. So, and I'll say this too. People can be upset because you're talking about things, and they may even want to sit there and try and say they're going to sue you for defamation of character. If it's true, you cannot sue someone. So you may want to sit down and you may want to ask the person that you're, you know, claiming, the old daughter-in-law there, stop talking about it. No. Ask her why she brought a meth pipe into the house and tried to claim it was mine. Ask her why she did that, talking to one of the children, minors at that. That's who you need to be upset with, not me. That shit happened. It was done and it was wrong. Go and talk to your girl there and find out why the hell she did that shit. Good morning, Pass. Did you go to sleep? If you took a nap. So if you're upset about it, maybe think about why you're upset about what I'm saying. I don't know. I absolutely know that it's not very liked that I talk about the fact that somebody brought a meth pipe into my house, knowing how against that kind of stuff I am. And that was allowed to happen, was allowed to occur. I have witnesses to it if you'd like to talk to any of them. Interesting. Show me where I've told one untruth. I have not. Mm-mm-mm. My best song. I enjoy it. A lot of people say that you should write a book, and I'm like, it's been done. It's been done already. Which it could. I mean, our childhood. It's an interesting childhood there. It really is. Very interesting. I mean, shoot. And that's the other thing too. That in doing the studying up on things I've had to study up on. One of the things that people like to do that has been done is that when you're going through something is when they hit you hard. When you've experienced, because I know like when my mama was sick and I lost my mother, I know that's when things got amped up because it was like, oh, you don't have her there to back you up. You lost somebody, you're going through some shit. So let's hit you pretty hard, you know? And then a year later, our baby brother passed away. And again, let's amp it up some more, you know? Like, what the hell? What is, you know, why do people do that? Find that interesting. Oh, yeah, Mrs. D, she's far away from me. That's why I said I will not step foot into Michigan again. Dree gonna have to meet me in Ohio. That's what she's gonna have to do. She's gonna drive down to Ohio. I used to live in Michigan. I'm good. I've been there, done that. I'm not going back. Absolutely won't. Not anything there I need to be concerned with, you know? Oh, thank you, Tara. Good morning, good morning. But yeah, it's just definitely learning to live a different life. Learning to live a good life is a good thing. Challenges, yes, but it'll be worth it. Uh, it'll be next chapter of life. What to expect and what to, you know. And I mean, honestly, if you could live anywhere, where would you live? I mean, that's just how basic. That's how basic I am now. Good night, little devil. Take it down to the brass knuckles there. Where I can live anywhere I want to live and don't have to consult with anybody else. But hey, is this a good place? Do you want to move here? You want to do this? You want to do that? I don't have to do any of that. None of it. Don't have to. Free individual. Freedom. Whew. Crazy. Yeah, to have that. Just to think about it, guys. Just to think about all the stuff I can. Ooh, it's nice. Oh, take money, honey. Well, yeah, AJ Robin. I wish, you know, I, yeah, I wish I was that strong. Sometimes I don't feel so strong. You know, I'm just keeping it honest. You know, you sometimes creeps in. You just been beat down. You know, um, so I feel sometimes like, oh man, you know, this is kicking the ass here. You know, but I go, no, that's not true. Um, it's just kind of sometimes we get things dealt to us in life for whatever reason, don't always know. But you got to go through it and you gotta live it. It's life. That's why I say everybody's life is um, amazing and different things that people do and things that people go through. Um, just absolutely out there. Like, holy moly. Um, and it's sad, but anytime you think your life is that bad, I guarantee you somebody's got it worse. You know, um, and you know, my mom always taught me that as bad as you think things are, there's somebody out there who's got it worse than you. Yeah, you know, and it was her way of, you know, trying to get you to look at, hey, you got a lot of good in your life too. You know, It's not all bad. We do have rough things that we go through, and it's always trying to come out of it on the other side with your head high. Like I said, life isn't going to get the best of you. That's what I always tell myself. Don't let it get to the best of you there. Even on those days that you don't know, am I going to put one foot in front of the other today? Um, yeah. And there's been some hard moments like that. I'll tell you, there has been, but it's, they say this too shall pass, and it does. And your aggravations, and then you look back at it, because I know, like, my anxiety was so horrible, and the things that I mean, it was bad. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I think about it now, and I'm like, yeah, my anxiety isn't near what it was, and it's so funny because the things that would make me like sheer panic, right? Like the things that you thought that you could never live through, that you could not make it if that happened. If this is it, I could not make it through that. Then you sit back and you're like, but I did. Uh, and now it's like those things don't bother me near as much. And I think that's where it's nice to be able to say that, because there was a few moments there that I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can make this, because of the situations, how it's all unfolded. And then, before you realize it, you're like, oh, I did make it through, and you know what, it's going to be okay. And it's hard to see that when you get that kick in the gut, like, oh, is it really going to be okay? Um, and you think at that moment, I was thinking, no, it's not. This is not okay. And no, you know what? It isn't okay. It isn't okay. Any of the shit that's happened, um, at all. Not at all. But it it's shown me that, how do I put it? What I've learned in the last several months is exactly who somebody is. Even more so, even like it is just, and it's like, well, maybe I think that's what I needed in order to make sure I never caved and went back. I needed to see the full Monty, the full Monty. Just, you have to show me everything. You have to show me exactly how evil somebody is and how nasty they are. Because that was the other thing I used to get called all the time, is how evil I was. Um, so yeah, but to see the true depths of someone and how they really are was very eye-opening for me. And I think I really needed to see that so that I didn't go back at all. That makes sense. And it's, I guess, in a better, and actually in a better way, we would just say that it has allowed me to realize that, oh, wait a minute, no, 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 no. I'm not the problem here. Because when you see how far somebody's willing to go, how much they're willing to lie, that is who they are. And I had thought before that I had seen so much and couldn't unsee it. Well, I really have seen too much now. Definitely can't unsee it. And I do believe that's exactly why things have gone the way they've gone. Because I needed to learn that lesson. I can't tell myself at all anymore that, hey, this is all your fault. This is all you, da 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 da. No, 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 because you showed me exactly who you are. You showed me exactly who you are. And that's what I need to see. There's nothing else that can be done about that. And the whole situation has taught me to open your eyes to exactly who everybody else is as well. Because when you stoop so low for the things that were done, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And so I don't take back any of the stuff that I said about certain people. Absolutely not. You're a snake, you're a snake. And y'all know I do not like snakes at all. Not at all. Well, at this point, I love my babies. I love my kids. I love my dog. I love my cat. My cat grandbabies over there. I love my grandbabies. I love my kids. And that's all I need to do. I don't need to worry about any of the rest of it. Yeah, exactly, Tara. You see it for exactly what it is. And I did need to see that. I think I really, because, sometimes when things happen, you're like, why? Oh my gosh, Yep, I would just wrap it up nicely to that, going, because you needed to see that this is who they are. You're doing what you need to do. You made the right decision to ask for a divorce, and you need to stick with it and be done with it, and that it's okay for you to move on, live your life. It's okay for me to do that. That's what I needed to see. So, I'm grateful for that. I am grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I could actually see that and figure out maybe that's what it is, Yeah, because sometimes some things just don't make sense and you're trying to figure out why. And that's frustrating because I'm one who wants to know why. Fancy could tell you, I will pick something apart to the finest detail. Uh, More analytical than some. I definitely will. I will pick things apart and I will try to find a reason. I will look at every angle. Um, just like with like the true crime stuff. I do. I sit back and I'm like, yeah, but this. I never count anything out. Life has taught me never count anything out because you don't know. There's definitely different things. Oh, Tara. Oh my gosh. Girl, how did you know? Look. Did I tell you we had that conversation? We were talking about places to go, and the my girls were telling me about the Broadway show, and I was like, I've never seen a Broadway show. I'm like, you haven't? I was like, no, I've never even been in New York City. I've been in New York, but not New York City. I'm like, what? They're like, no, we're going. We got to go to New York. You're going to go to Broadway, and my thought is I should be the star of Broadway, but hey, okay, we'll stop, we'll hold up, But yeah, that's funny you should say that because that was but I don't know about heels. How about I just wear my tennis shoes? My knees and my back don't do very good in heels at all. But New York City. And I would love to do that because so many movies and stuff are in New York. I want to go and see that. So that is one of the that is on our list of things to do. Hit New York City up. So yeah, we got a few different wish trips in the future at some point that we will be attending. So hopefully we'll make it to New York City. New York City, yes. I hear they don't make salsa good there, but that's all right. Broadway show it'll be. Yeah, I know they went. They were saying that there was a lot of they did see a lot of celebrities walking down the streets. A few of them. Well, I should say a lot, but they said, a few. I was like, oh, okay, I'd love to see that. I'd just be watching. I could think Channing Tatum, he could be there. Mm-hmm. Sorry, y'all. That man's fine. I can say it. I am single. I can tell you right now, that man is fine. Channing Tatum. Get your blood going, get that heart pumping. I'm like, oh, look, I'm 52. I'm not dead yet. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him. There's a few I wouldn't mind seeing on the streets of New York. I don't know if I could get my picture with him or not. I'd probably be asking him, could you hug me? Just put your arm around me right there. Take a picture. I don't think I'm that brazen to do that, but everything's possible. That's right there. Everything will be possible. We'll be able to, have a good Monday, Daphne. And I'm going to get off of here because I know I hear an alarm going off. Time to get up for someone to go to work. And I'm going to get going. Probably sleep a couple hours. Got a couple things to do. But thanks for joining me, y'all. And nice little chatteroo. But as the show started, what would you do if y'all got any ideas? Let me know. Because like I said, on my tickety tack over there, I do that every week. I put one out. What would you do if you found out your ex? And that is a fun way for me to deal with divorce. And no, they are not all directed towards my ex or anybody else's ex. It's just to me, it's just a funny. Okay. So hopefully, they won't get me arrested because one of those, what would you do if? True story. I did what would you do if you found out your ex? Da 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 da. Mind you, they're blocked on that TikTok. There's a lot of them that are blocked on there, so he's going out of his way to secure the information. And Facebook is locked down as well, so out of his way to get the information. I stuffed that one out, I think, but actually called the police, told the police he wanted me arrested. Well, a police officer said, I called, I talked to him, and he's like, ma'am, you've done nothing wrong. Sounds like you guys went through a divorce, went through a rough patch, and he goes, I'm not going to arrest you, none of that, you haven't done anything wrong. I said, thank you. And there's a thing called freedom of speech as well, as long as there's no lies and it's not derogatory, by the way. Yeah, so for a split moment, I'm sure he felt perhaps frustrated and a little helpless with that situation, right? Yeah, wanted me arrested for that. So my stubbornness and I don't know what you want to call it. We'll just say it was stubbornness, okay? Because I had, what would you do if you found out your ex? And it could go either way, guys. It doesn't have to be, it can be male or female, right? From whatever perspective, it's whatever. It's just your ex in general. And because somebody wanted me arrested for it, I have now decided that once a week, I will post a what would you do if your ex? Okay? So there's that. It's for educational purposes. Exactly. That. Educational purposes only. There you go. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tara. I'm going to try to have the best day ever. Every day. And that's what I hope for everybody is tomorrow may be the best day ever. Today be the best day ever. But yeah. Yeah, Tara, it's funny. It's funny when the police call you and, tell you they're not going to arrest you. It was nice, though, because they actually said, you've done nothing wrong. Thank you. Thank you. I need that validation. I appreciate it, even though I know I hadn't done anything wrong. Cool. So yeah, but that spurred me to, religiously once a week I will post one, at least once a week. Um, so there's that. And an ex could be anybody. I now have 2 ex-husbands. 27 years and 5 years, or 7, 28, 29, 30, 32 years I've wasted being married, Joe. See, I don't think I'll get married again. Just saying, just saying. New York City, I'm coming, okay? I'm gonna get there. Eventually, we'll get there, But for now, just gonna focus on being at peace and being happy and being safe and being joyful with life. And I have said a lot lately. What's the worst that could happen? What? I probably should stop asking that question because it may not be so good. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. We will chat with y'all later. I'm going to get off of here. Really, but still knocked out cold. So I'll probably cuddle up with her for a little bit, get a couple hours of sleep, and get up and get going. Y'all have a great, great night or a great day this morning. And